So then we had SmackDown, which, I don't know. It got off to a terrible start when Randy Orton came out, and they didn't even bother showing the footage from WWE.com from after the pay-per-view where they opened up The Undertaker's casket and it was empty. They did that years ago, and the first time Undertaker got burnt up in a casket, supposedly. They did the exact same angle here with the exact same opening it up and it being empty, but they didn't show that on SmackDown, no. Instead, Undertaker is dead.
Deceased.
He died.
Passed on.
Burned up.
No more.
In a fire.
An ex-man.
So Randy Orton came out and explained that he burned The Undertaker to death. That he was dead.
He proclaimed that he was literally a legend killer.
He was a legend killer.
He has killed a man.
He said he had literally killed a man. So here we are supposed to believe that Undertaker has died, that he's no longer a denizen of the earth. And Randy's there in the ring just cutting a promo. He said, let's move on to more important matters, the world title. So he's a murderer and a killer.
So's his dad.
And his father. And apparently this is all okay. He's just still in wrestling. I guess nobody cares about Undertaker. I don't know what the deal is. But then Eddie came out and he was cheered. So at least we know that the morals of the WWE are such that if you are a liar and a thief, you're still a better human being than a killer, because Randy Orton was booed and Eddie Guerrero was cheered. Eddie said he wanted the title, and no one cared. Nobody cared. Why? Because they were watching the world's stupidest angle. And Orton said he was going to go backstage, find Teddy Long, and demand a shot for himself. Big Dave came out, thankfully did not acknowledge the demise of The Undertaker. And he basically said that Randy should face Eddie tonight. And the best part was he said, I'm not a matchmaker, but it would be great if you guys wrestled. And then they ended up wrestling. So I have no idea who's writing this shit, but this was when I thought this show needs to be 1 hour long.
Yeah, and you were right. Big Dave made the match, and it was on.
Yeah,
So,
he, even though he couldn't make matches, he made a match and it was on.
what was next?
You're on a roll today, Vince. Orlando cut a promo. He said he'd been beaten 75 times, but on the bright side, he now knew every counter for the crossface, so they were going to wrestle again. And he added that if he was tapped out from the crossface, he'd quit the business. So I'm just going to spoil this for all of you now. Orlando Jordan isn't quitting because he didn't tap to the crossface. Get it? He tapped to the sharpshooter. Yeah, you see? He's going to be back next week. So,
Yay!
We just had number 94 in the Chris Benoit Orlando Jordan feud. I have no idea why they are unable to think of anything new for either of these men. I guess they sort of had with Booker, or they sort of have with Booker T, which we'll see in a moment. But there's a strong lack of creativity and creative, it appears. But what can you do?
You can add Orlando Jordan to the list of shitty wrestlers who've had a good match with Chris Benoit.
Yeah, they went 5 minutes. So
yeah, but it was good.
Yeah, and he actually had some counters for the crossface.
He blocked it a couple different times. So.
He is like an animal. He has learned, I guess. He can be trained to not get tapped out in 30 seconds.
He can tap out in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Then Sharmell stormed into Teddy's office and went crazy, wanting to know why Orlando got the title shot and not Booker, which was an extraordinarily valid question, to which Teddy asked, why are you so angry?
Yes.
What is your problem? And I thought, why does everyone on the show have to be so stupid? Can we have one? Actually,
especially the baby faces.
We do have one smart character. The only smart character, by the grace of sweet Jesus, is Big Dave Batista. He's the only guy who never gets fooled, except he is getting fooled right now, I guess, by Eddie Guerrero. But normally, you can't put one over on Big Dave. But everybody else in the show, every other babyface, is the biggest moron.
Just a tool.
And this was an example of that. So anyway, Teddy signed Booker, Christian, JBL, and Ray, with the winner getting the title shot next week, and that was later. Then we had Regal and Paul Burchill versus Eminem. Actually, I'm sorry, it was a 8-man tag, I guess. Regal, Burchill, and Eminem versus LOD 9000 and the Mexicools. 8-man tag. Mexicools are babyfaces for the 99% of you that do not watch Velocity on the internet and haven't figured it out yet. Scosis was beaten on forever, made the hot tag to Animal. Everybody ran wild. And then, well, Mercury was pinned after Crazy gave him a moonsault. So Eminem are so done. Then who should hit the ring but the Tolans? And Chad has... I don't know what he's done. He's let his hair grow out and he frosted it, so now he looks completely different. They murder Psychosis with the highest Vegematic in history. And for everybody that's seen the Tolans for the first time and you're very excited, all I've got to say is they showed nothing here. I was reading all these reports and thinking, my God, Tank was Tank and Chad was Chad, and it's all craziness and wackiness. No, they were on screen for about 22 seconds, did one move, and that was it. So hopefully there's much, much more to come, because if they're allowed to be Tank and Chad, which hopefully they will since they are Tank and Chad, it should be great.
It'll be good times. I am so skeptical of that at this point. I have no faith in this company to do anything right, even though it occurred to me during this attack that SmackDown now has 5 viable tag teams, which is a high for the past 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, they had no tag teams, and now suddenly they've got 5.
Yeah, and but I don't think anyone cares about any of them.
And the champions are John Heidenreich and Animal.
Yeah. Also, Melina was much hotter than Christy this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Melina, I think, may have gotten new breasts over the last few days.
It's possible. I don't think that was it, though. I think it was just the half shirt.
I see. You were looking at her stomach, you pig.
Oh, yes, I was. It was great.
So then we had something. Oh, Christian interviewed Stacy for the Peep Show. Interviewed her about some stupid bullshit thing in the tabloids that they were trying to push. And anyway, Mole Girl came out and wanted to be her publicist. And Stacy said, if you want to delve into my private life, I will delve into yours. What's that thing on your face? And, yeah, she went to slap it, slap the other side. I was praying the mole would fly off and end up on the canvas. God was not with me. And that was the end of that. So, yeah, we're going to get the Jillian versus Stacy feud, one of which cannot wrestle because she's unable to, and one of which cannot wrestle because her mole could fall off at any moment. And they're going to get in the ring together, and it's going to suck.
It is, and I'm trying to think if anyone has ever been punked out by a less physically imposing figure than Stacy Keibler. Anyone, ever.
I was trying to think of something today, but I was unable to. It's a very sad state of affairs. I'm feeling very bitter today after reviewing these 2 shows because I think I'm sad that Honky is not here and you are. No offense or anything.
I can
but,
see that. That's fair.
Honky, it was a great show with Honky today, and now here I am reviewing 2 lackluster shows. So what can you do?
Maybe you can call Honky tomorrow.
I could probably do that, but I called today, by the way, and he answered Home Shopping Network, and I asked if I could order a autographed photo of Vinny V with fuck postering or whatever on it, but so yeah. Booker faced Christian, JBL, and Ray for the number 1 contender slot. Sort of a mess early, and the short story of the long story here. I didn't want to say to make a long story short since I always say that, so I try to change it up a little bit.
And look at the disaster you've caused now.
Yeah. Charmel tripped up Ray, and Booker pinned him. Booker did not know that this had happened, and he was so happy that he felt up his wife as they left the ring. So I guess we look forward to more sexuality on this show now that Booker's on a win streak. And then after commercial, Benoit congratulated Booker for his win and said he hoped next week when they have their match for the title that what happened to Ray tonight didn't happen to him. And Booker had no idea what he was talking about, and Benoit said Charmel interfered, and Booker would have no part of it. And Benoit did not think to say, why don't you watch the tape, buddy? So I guess we'll never find out if Booker T watched the tape or not. He's just going to show up next week and not know his wife is a harlot.
Yeah, the match was really good, I thought. They had a bunch of... one guy hit a big move and then go for the cover and someone else would break it up and just boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's not terribly originally right. It occurred to me as I said that. That was not the most original statement ever. But everything flowed smooth. No one ever seemed lost, and they were doing some pretty complicated stuff. The highlight for me was when Christian lifted Ray onto his shoulders in a victory roll position, and JBL came over to attack one of them, and so Ray just started punching him, and Christian just held him up, and eventually JBL went out and they did whatever. But
was it me or is JBL very light with Christian?
I wasn't paying attention. It's entirely possible.
It seemed like that to me. I don't know if he hurt him at some point earlier in his career or something and feels bad to this day, but it seemed like he was being very easy on him. But I may have to. I'm not watching it again. But you know what I mean.
Say.
So then, here's something I hate about WWE. WWE can't just let something go. They can't just, a guy's getting over. Perhaps I worded that wrong. What basically happened was Ken Kennedy came out. And they had Ken Kennedy go through his entire spiel with the microphone and everything. And he finally got to the point where he was going to introduce his opponent. And he didn't have one. He said, I have no opponent tonight. And so then he left. And it was over. And I thought, you know what? Yes, Ken Kennedy's intro is great. But if you don't have nothing for Ken Kennedy to do, if you don't have an opponent for him, do we really have to have him come out and do his thing and then just leave? That so annoyed me for some reason.
Yes, it did. I can see that now.
It really annoyed me. It's like, are you trying to burn the guy out? Is
Well-
that your intention? Are you trying to shove him down our throats to the point where it's overkill? Could you not have left him off the show for 1 week so that next week maybe he'd be fresh or something and have a match? No. They had to burn him out. They had to put him in the goddamn ring again just to do his thing and then leave.
Wow, you are bitter.
I am bitter.
I think
I'm
you're
tired.
I think
It's
you're-
late.
I think you're overreacting a bit.
No. Well, maybe I am. That's entirely possible. But it made me very angry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I know you're a huge fan of Ken Kennedy. You probably loved that, didn't you?
I thought for most people, Ken Kennedy's entrance is Ken Kennedy, and they don't care about seeing him wrestle. They just want to see him do his wacky spotlight introduction.
Well, maybe you're right, but I think they want to see him wrestle too, because I think that was a pointless segment. When it was over, people were upset. Like, I could have gone and got a hot dog. Instead, I waited here for him to do his thing. Plus the other
may be
thing.
right.
Plus the other thing. Okay, yes, the comedy of it, I guess, or the highlight is when he repeats Kennedy the second time. Okay, it's good once. All right. When he does it 3 times and then doesn't have an actual opponent and then just goes to the back, overkill.
Okay, that's true.
They're going to totally burn it out.
You are right there.
So with that said, Blaster Lashley killed Nunzio.
Oh, yes, he did.
He killed him. And actually, this brings joy to my heart for the first time tonight because Blaster Lashley killing guys is like the Angle Invitational. It has replaced the Angle Invitational on the show. There was a period where SmackDown was such bullshit that the only good thing about it every week was the Kurt Angle Invitational. He would come out and just kill somebody, and it was so great. And now, Blaster Lashley comes out every week and kills somebody, and it brings joy to my heart. This is seriously the best part of SmackDown every week.
He did kill him. I think the most blatant example of killing him was where he pressed him overhead and tossed him outside, and you would think he would be tossing him onto Vito. Vito was standing right there, and Big Vito chose to dodge. He stepped to his left and let Nunzio crash and burn to the ground below. And all I can think is that this man should be terminated immediately. They should have come out in the middle of the match and said, here's your bags, here's your papers, get out. Just go. Don't ever come back.
Yeah, and I got a message for John Laurinaitis if you're listening, which I know you're not, but perhaps someone could forward him this little audio clip. You have a real eye for talent, buddy. A real eye for talent. Yay, Big Vito!
Was that his idea?
He's the head of talent relations, dude. It's because of John Laurinaitis that Big Vito's out there on TV every week. Let's give him a hand. Join in, Vinny. John Laurinaitis, eye for talent. You're the man, dude. You're the man. So then Teddy and Network Guy had a meeting. Yeah, here's how they introduced the Boogeyman. I had no conception of this. I just heard that he debuted. So the Network Guy said, we had these promos over the summer for the Boogeyman. It was actually for a UPN show. And something went wrong with the guy on it. I think that's how he referred to him. The guy
I believe
on
he
it.
did, yes.
He didn't even say the actor, the lead character. He said the guy on it. This is the Network Guy saying this. He said, so we don't know what to do with him, and we've signed him to a multi-year deal. So basically, since SmackDown is the dregs of UPN, I guess, we're going to give him to you. And so then he said, or then Boogeyman walked in with his paint on, and the Network Guy looked at him, and he's all eager, and he goes, do your thing. So the Boogeyman did his thing, which is being the Boogeyman. It's an act. And he cut this wacky promo, and I will say that I could not tear my eyes from the Boogeyman. He cuts the greatest promos.
So awesome.
They're so awesome, and I don't know why. And the only thing wrong with it is he did not use the highlight part of his catchphrase, which is that somebody's gonna die. Gonna die, Vince.
Whichever.
Fix it.
Either one's good.
Do this every time. No, gonna die is better. But anyway, because if you say someone's gotta die, I could say you've gotta die, Vince. If I say you're gonna die, you're fucked. You know what I mean?
I see.
Just pick somebody in this world, you know? John Laurinaitis. Nah, it's horrible.
Let's move back to the boogeyman here.
But anyway, you know what I mean. So anyway, the boogeyman did his thing and said somebody's going to die. And then in the highlight, after all this was said and done, they cut away and Michael Cole's, nearly his first words were, and I quote, whatever.
Yep.
Whatever.
Boogeyman, one show.
So hopefully the boogeyman is going to come out next week, and the person that's going to die is Michael Cole.
He needs to take his soul or shrink his head or something.
Yeah.
He.
But listen, for all of you that thought that God was against the boogeyman by opening up the heavens and raining upon him, actually God's with him because God's a strange thing, and I say that as a reverend. He works in mysterious ways. You could argue that God was either with or without the boogeyman in that instant. For one, when boogeyman said, somebody's going to die or whatever, and the heavens open, that was the Lord winking at him. On the other hand, the fact that there were no cameras to capture this was God's way of flipping us all off. But I will also say this. The Lord is with the boogeyman because the fact that 4 of the boogeyman's teeth got knocked out was the greatest thing that ever happened to his career.
That's for damn sure.
By far. The boogeyman would be almost the boogeyman he is today with his teeth, but without his teeth, he's the man, dude. I'm feeling better already.
His promos, they're scary and they're weird and they're intense and they're freaky and they're creepy, but they killed it by having Teddy Long standing there next to him the whole time.
Yeah, and he just looks at him.
He should have screamed and run away.
Yeah.
And
no, it's an act. He's an actor.
Yeah, he's that's right. He's doing his thing. Yeah, if
the one good thing about it though is at least we have an excuse why he can't work.
Because he's an actor.
He's not a wrestler. He's an actor on a bad TV show that got canceled or something.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, the boogeyman. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a debut of the boogeyman. Eddie versus Orton for the number 1 contender spot. Orton, what can I say about Randy Orton?
Two things I could think watching this match was, one, the match itself should have been a lot better than it was. And two, why the hell is Eddie Guerrero a heel?
He's not. He's a babyface.
Well,
actually, I'm going to have a rant about that in just a second.
All right.
But,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spoil your rant.
You didn't. You can't. But anyway, what I was thinking was Randy Orton has shown nothing lately.
Yeah.
What has happened to Randy Orton?
I don't know.
Randy Orton he used to be, he was a good worker, he was a good talker, everything was great, and
he was
now
getting better.
He's boring on the mic, just enormously boring, to the fact that Cowboy Bob Orton is a better promo guy than Randy. And for all I know, Cowboy Bob may be a better worker in some ways than young Randall as well, although Bix can jump on that one because I'm sure he'd have a fun argument.
Definitely funnier.
But here's what I got to say. Eddie Guerrero came out at the beginning of the show as a total babyface. He came out here as a total babyface. He worked the match as a total babyface. The crowd cheered him, chanted his name, and he finished as a total babyface. Batista came out to save the day afterwards when they went to a shitty DQ, and they hugged afterwards, both as total babyfaces. And I understand that, at least I think this is what they're doing. The idea is that Eddie's actually a heel, and he's pretending to be a babyface, and he's going to turn on Batista at any moment, perhaps next week. I suspect that that's the idea. But
double agent.
Here's the problem. He's doing such a good job that everybody thinks he's turned babyface.
Yeah.
Perhaps not you and me and the writers, but
the people.
All the people think that Eddie's turned babyface. So next week when he turns heel again, we're going to have a 4-week period where Eddie Guerrero's gone from heel to babyface to heel. And anybody who's followed WCW for any length of time, particularly on the end, knows that when you go back and forth 3 times in 4 weeks, you're fucked.
Oh, yes.
Nobody is going to give a rat's ass about you. And the same damn thing is going to happen here. Although the only thing saving Eddie Guerrero is that he is Eddie Guerrero.
He is,
and the people do connect with Eddie Guerrero no matter what he's doing. So he may be okay. But for anybody else to try this, it would be a monumental failure. And I will wait
until... It may still be a monumental failure.
It could be. I'll wait until after he turns heel to really lay the law down and flip my lid. But for now, I'm thinking this is a bad idea.
I don't think it'll ruin his career or anything. Cause
no, it's not going to ruin his career.
He's Eddie Guerrero.
It's going to kill the buy rate for the next show.
That it will do.
Which
he will recover. The company may be screwed for a while.
Yeah. Actually, they may be lucky because I think the next pay-per-view they're headlining Survivor Series, which will at least be a mixed show. So you've got Flair and Hunter to carry it. But
so then we went to SmackDown, and it opened up with the Chris Benoit Booker T match, which was a very good match. Actually, a hell of a match.
This is a good pay-per-view match disguised as a SmackDown opener.
Yeah, and they actually did a video package, I guess, trying to convince us that this storyline had been going on since SummerSlam, which was a real stretch. But the main point of the match, the only thing that anyone will remember in 10 years, because Chris Benoit may be in a wheelchair, is he went for a tope and he hit his lower back on the announce table, which has broken many backs. Rick Rude, Shawn Michaels, probably others that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but that is so dangerous. He overshot his tope or something and kind of did a half flip in midair and hit his lower back with all of his might on the edge of the announcer's table and was, I thought, killed. But he actually managed to continue wrestling, and he is a complete machine because he made his comeback just fine. And it was a great, great match. Sharmell ended up giving him a low blow. Booker hit the axe kick, and this was the first time in maybe years that I've seen a secondary title change hands, and it actually seemed like it meant something.
Yeah.
The fans went crazy for it, and it was a big deal. And I cannot remember the last time I saw an IC title change or anything like that that really felt like a big deal. And the Ric Flair thing did because Ric Flair won it, but that doesn't count. People didn't see it like, my God, we've just seen something here. Like, we've seen one man best another man in the ring.
This one felt like two elite athletes testing each other to gain the prize.
And you cared. You cared that one man had beaten the other. Not like you just cared because you wanted to see Ric Flair win a belt. But
yeah, and they did the interference, and then that led right to the finish. So
yeah, and then afterwards they got in a big argument, and
Booker T still does not watch SmackDown.
No, or his own replays, or on the big screen when he was in the ring or something.
Doesn't even watch his own matches, but
yeah. So anyway, that was
awesome.
It was great. Then we had actually Benoit did the Dean Visk when he was screaming at Booker T. That was the highlight of the whole thing right there. But then we had JBL doing. Actually, the Ortons were backstage, and Randy said his father's back was hurt and he couldn't work. So Teddy Long said, "Fine, you can wrestle both Eddie and Batista later." So Randy was very remorseful or whatever. I don't know. So then JBL was quizzed about the music distraction on Raw when Edge was in the ring and JBL's music played and Edge got distracted and was pinned. And JBL said, "I don't know how that happened. I do not do charity work." And he said if anybody from Raw wanted to come to SmackDown tonight, he'd be cool with that. And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks.
That was it.
Thanks, Vince.
That was it.
I know. I just wanted to give you
right.
hell. Matt Hardy had a match. This was. Let me. I'm trying to figure out what to say about this. All right. Matt Hardy had a girl, and he got hurt.
Once upon a time.
I just want to recap this for anybody that doesn't understand the story. Matt Hardy had a girlfriend. She cheated on him with another dude.
With his friend.
His friend. She cheated on him with his friend. Much like all your girlfriends, Vince. And he was injured at the time, and he was fired. So he went on the internet, he cried, he bitched, blah, blah, blah. And he also talked to TNA, and he talked to some independent groups, and he became sort of a rebel. He became a hero, an underground hero to a lot of people. And he talked to TNA, and there was a possibility of him coming in and being a huge, humongous star on the first episode of Spike TV. And throughout the Spike tenure, probably the NWA heavyweight title, a bunch of other stuff. He'd have been the man. But instead, WWE called, and he jumped on the next flight out to Stamford and signed with the company. He debuted right before a commercial break on Raw. He then had his first match back with Gene Snitsky.
You're forgetting the SummerSlam match where he was beaten in a bloody submission.
Right. No, didn't he have a match before that, or was that the first one? I think Gene Snitsky was first.
You may be right.
He had his first match back with Gene Snitsky, which he needed to execute a middle rope twist of fate to win in a competitive match. Then he had the match at SummerSlam, which he ended up being utterly destroyed and buried 6 feet under. They attempted to rehab the feud, and 2 months later he fought a loser leaves town match with the man that stole his girl, and he was the loser, and he was forced to leave town. So after all that, And myself and Vince and Dave and a million other people have said, Matt Hardy's getting fucked around here. He should not have signed, blah, blah, blah. Matt Hardy flipped his lid. He went on the internet. He went on WWE.com. He ran down internet fans. We don't know what we're talking about. He went back to his dream job. It's all on the up and up when he goes to SmackDown. Whole life's turning around, blah, blah, blah. Well, what happened? He showed up on SmackDown. He did not debut on the Peep Show. He got a short video package. His first opponent was Simon Dean, a jobber. Not only did he wrestle Simon Dean on his big debut in SmackDown, he wrestled Simon Dean in a competitive match in which Simon Dean got the heat. And above all else, Simon Dean, the jobber, had a broken hand. He debuted in the ring with a one-armed jobber and was beaten for a while before he finally won the match. Am I missing anything in this story?
I stopped caring about him so long ago that I wouldn't have put 1/10 of that much thought into this. But no, I think you pretty much got everything.
That's right. His big return. It's all on the up and up now, Matt says.
He's
Simon Dean, the one-armed bandit.
He's another generic SmackDown guy.
He is just another guy already his first night in.
He's below Kennedy. He's below Bob Holly.
Oh, he's way below Kennedy. Kennedy's a main eventer already.
Yeah, you're right. He's below Sylvan.
Sylvan Granier's in a major feud so far.
Yeah, I guess I put him above Scotty Too Hottie. But
so the next time Matt Hardy goes on the internet and starts ranting and raving about how we're all wrong and this was a great move, just look back at this match, the latest twist of fate in the life of Matt Hardy.
You are very passionate about this.
I got mad at his rant about how we were all so stupid.
Why did you even read it? It's Matt Hardy. Who cares?
Well, I read it. It was just so. It was. I don't know. I can understand defending yourself and everything like that, but that's an absurd defense. Everything's great. I came back. It was awesome. I'm a star. I'm a bigger star now than when I left. Really? Were you feuding with a one-armed Simon Dean when you left? No. I'm sorry. I'm getting all worked up. I have nothing against Matt Hardy, really. He's a great guy. I'm sure he's a nice homebody in his 200,000 square foot home. Remember that one? That was a good one. And, yeah. But he's a jobber, so I'm sorry. I didn't book it. Don't yell at me. Don't yell at Vince. Don't yell at the internet. We didn't sign your contract to come back. I'm going to stop now. Come on.
Have you been drinking?
Come on, help me out here.
Are you on pills or what?
No, I'm totally beyond sober here. So anyway, then we had Ray versus Bradshaw in the rubber match. And I had to ask you what the first match was, because the only one I remember was the pay-per-view match.
The first match ended when Ray hit the moonsault and damn near landed on his head. Does that ring a bell?
It's kind of, but
JBL saved his life.
I just don't even remember JBL in that match.
All right.
But anyway, so this was a rubber match, and it was, suffice to say, not the pay-per-view match that they just had. I presume Ray won by either disqualification or count-out, because what happened was Edge's music played. And if you'll recall, Bradshaw's music played in Edge's match on Monday. So Edge's music played here, and guess who Edge attacked?
Bradshaw?
Oh, no, Vince.
Really?
He attacked Rey Mysterio.
Yes.
That's right. He beat up Ray, left him laying. It was a great spear. I'll give him that.
He speared the hell out of him.
Yeah.
And Ray took this wicked bump.
Ray took an awesome bump, and Edge actually did a full twist on the spear, and it was quite great. And then they ended up having Edge chase Bradshaw or vice versa through the crowd or whatever. And then Chris Masters.
Bum, bum, bum.
Chris Masters came in to attack Ray, and he put him in the Master Lock, and 4 jobbers hit the ring to make the save, and they were all foiled. And then...
Should we name these jobbers?
Go ahead.
Funaki, Paul London,
sure,
Brian Kendrick, Scotty Too Hottie.
Yeah,
Chris Masters killed them all.
He killed them all. And then guess who he ran away from?
Bob,
and Jim.
Hardcore Bob.
Bob Hawley and John Heidenreich.
Oh yeah, he was running by the time Heidenreich showed up. Heidenreich missed his cue. It was late.
Yeah. So anyway, they're building up to a hell of a match at Survivor Series with those wacky marionettes there. Then we had Blaster Lashley versus Big Vito and Little Guido, or maybe I've got them mixed up. Little Vito and Big Guido. Anyway, the two Sicilians, whatever you want to call them. It was a squash match. Lashley killed them both. He did the most awesome. He sort of did a shoot into a high crotch backdrop, and
it was great.
It was the greatest thing I've ever seen. And once again, Blaster Lashley saved SmackDown. and he destroyed the little guy, and then the little guy was too scared to get back in the ring, so he killed the big guy, and then he won.
Yay!
What more is there to say?
He hit a dozen cool suplexes. I still think Big Vito looks like an orc from Lord of the Rings.
I actually just watched part of the Two Towers, and Big Vito is a very handsome man if you are comparing him to orcs, but he does have a very odd orcish
He's got
look
the hook
to him.
nose. He's got pointy ears. He's got that sneer.
Yeah. I got to say something. Speaking of Lord of the Rings and the ears. You know the elf, the female elf
Yes.
in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
She's pretty hot.
But since you brought this up, I remember once I mentioned at work years ago when the movie first came out. Now, hang on. Have I told you the story before?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell it again.
All right. I mentioned at work that the Seattle Times...
I'm crying. I don't even remember it. I just remember it. Okay, go on.
The Seattle Times was having a Lord of the Rings haiku contest. And I announced this at work. And my buddy at work sends me an email with his entry, which is, Arwen, one hot elf. Want to grab her pointy ears and bust both nuts. Yeah!
I'm fucking dying.
That was Lord of the Rings haiku.
Oh, Jesus. God help me.
I'm so happy I brought that up now. Ladies and gentlemen, you're enjoying the very last Brian and Vinny show.
Okay.
Brian has taken off his headphones. He's wiping the tears from his eyes.
I did. Oh, okay. I did not even remember the haiku. Where's my headphones? Hold on.
Oh, Jesus.
I did not even remember the entire haiku. I just remember the first time you told me the haiku, I cried with laughter. And the very memory started me laughing again. And then when you actually said the haiku...
I will never forget that. That was art.
Okay. All right.
That's your 575, everyone.
Oh, alrighty then. Let's be back to being professional
Who
again.
the fuck cares about SmackDown now?
I don't care.
All
But
right.
I was going to say, it's funny you mentioned the ears because she's got hot ears,
Yeah, they're hot and pointy.
I've got no problem with the pointy ears
All right.
on a hot female elf. Not that, there are any or anything like that. But I'm just saying if I saw a hot girl on the street and she had like a third eye, I'd be like, what the fuck's that? Or even if she had like a giant set of wings, I'd be like, that's a freak. But if she had the ears, I'd be like, that's cool. I can handle that.
All right, duly noted.
I just wanted
If any
to...
Vulcan women hit on you all...
Oh, God, I'm crying. Let's move on.
Can we? I kind of think we should stop now.
No, because we have something very important to talk about.
Oh.
What, was that you? Oh, okay. No, I'm still on SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
Vince lifted up the calamari wrestler deal. So anyway, I seem awfully loud right now. Did I break something?
Dude, you've been loud the whole show.
No, I can really hear it now. All right, let's get on to action. Let's get professional here. So then we had the juniors.
Yay!
That's right. I told you it was something important.
This was the greatest SmackDown ever.
There was a meeting backstage, and Teddy was appalled about what had happened with the Raw guys. And Palmer said, don't worry, we've got the NTI, the New Talent Initiative. Yeah, they had to turn that into a...
Get your t-shirts now.
Yes, get your t-shirt now, NTI. Couldn't even be like the Talented Initiative of New Talent, so it'd be TIT or something. They had to just do NTI. I just made that up on the spot. Give me some time to think. So anyway, he said, the Tolans, who, by the way, have not been named.
They were never named last week. They ran in and no one knew who they were.
So the best part about this is, I guess in some way he discovered who they were and he revealed it, but we don't know who he's talking about.
Yeah. the SmackDown viewer knows there are these two guys ran in, and he knows there's a new team called the Tolans, but they don't know if these are the same people.
That's right. And he also listed Matt Hardy as part of the New Talent Initiative. And then he said they were going to introduce a new division, the Juniors.
The Juniors!
In ran 3 midgets and in waddled Super Porky.
Super Porky.
And the midgets were, if I can get their names right here, Masquerita Sagrada, who we knew, Minnie Piroth, and Pitbull
Patterson.
Patterson. What did I call him?
At one point, you call him Thunderbolt Hank. You said, what's his name? And I said, Pitbull Patterson. And you said, Thunderbolt Hank?
Oh, jeez. What's wrong with you? I should... And it was just like that, too.
It was.
You said Pitbull, whatever his name was, and I immediately forgot the name. And now that I've got...
Jesus Christ.
I'm just going to take these off. They're doing me no good.
It's going to be the 80-minute show.
Okay, hold
What time
on.
is it?
I don't know, but I'm crying. You know what we need to do is get
Quarter
Little
to one.
Nasty Boy to be Thunderbolt Hank. Can you imagine him playing this role? And you know he'd do it, too.
Sure.
We know a midget, everybody. The Little Nasty Boy is his name, but story for a different day. So anyway,
He once wrestled Road Warrior Animal.
he did. And he was in the ring with Mick Foley, apparently. But anyway, so...
That's another great story.
So, anyway, Teddy Long said regarding Porky, he smells like chitlins. He's fat.
He smell like chitlins.
And network guys said that was the sweet smell of success. So Teddy could stand no more.
Porky was sitting there in his gear, noshing on a giant ham.
Oh, I forgot the ham. That's
Forgot
right.
The ham.
That's right. And actually, it was identified by Teddy Long as pork. And the network guy said, yes, of course, because he's super porky.
Yes, the fact that he's 300 pounds and 5 feet tall was not enough clue that he would be Porky. They had to further explain the name by saying he eats a lot of pork.
And it gets better. Teddy Long had to leave. So he turned around and opened the door, and there was the boogeyman with flash paper. And he lit this flash paper, at which point you hear Palmer Cannon in the background going, hey, it's the boogeyman.
Did you?
Oh, yes.
I didn't notice that.
That's what I kept replaying over and over. That was so funny.
I never caught it.
The door opened, and the boogeyman's right there, and you hear him go, hey, it's the boogeyman. You know we're going to have to play that back
This
before you
show-
go home tonight.
Sure.
Okay.
I was just watching before because Boogeyman lit his flash paper way too early.
Oh, yes, it was way too early. So then basically everybody left. The boogeyman did his scary thing or whatever, and he's changed it. Now, unfortunately, I guess they've banned somebody's going to die. So now it's I'm the boogeyman, and I'm going to get you. I'm coming to get you, which is okay with me. That's cool. So anyway, then they left, and Teddy...
Well, he says, I'm coming to get you, and he said it right at Masquerita Sagrada, who screamed and leapt into Teddy Long's arms.
That's right, he did. So you finish explaining any final comments on this segment while I load something up here.
Boogeyman just disappeared when he was done. I don't know what happened to him. Teddy set Masquerita Sagrada down, and Palmer Cannon says, let's go have fun, everyone. And you could hear the midgets jumping up and down on the couch, and Teddy sat down and began to massage his temples, and he looked up, and Porky was sitting on the armchair of the...
eating his
ham, and he offered Teddy some ham, and that rude bastard Teddy Long declined.
That's right.
So Porky just sat there eating his ham, and it was beautiful. And this was a true wacky lucha skit on SmackDown.
That is the only way.
It was awesome, and I decided that I want the Boogeyman to be on every show.
Okay, get ready. Turn around.
All right, turn around now.
We're doing more live play-by-play here, and you're gonna have to get out of the way a little bit, Vince, so I can.
Jesus. Hang on, I'm standing up. I have the microphone.
We're
The fans are celebrating their Mania tickets.
We're not gonna watch the whole segment because we don't.
No,
have
it's
all night.
long.
But I
Minis.
just gotta see.
There's Thunderbolt Hank jumping on the couch.
Thunderbolt Hank.
Palmer Cannon just referred to Masquerita Sagrada as this one dude.
Yeah. Porky looks about 2 feet tall. Okay, are you ready? Listen.
Okay. I did hear that.
Here we go. Everyone.
Okay.
So
okay.
happy.
Okay. Okay. I did hear that.
Okay, good.
I thought it was Michael Cole, and I thought he was supposed to be scared.
No, it was.
No, it's Palmer Cannon, and he's happy.
He's very happy.
It's the Boogeyman.
That's right.
Oh my God.
There's really nothing else to talk about in this entire show. Bob versus Sylvan was better than you'd think because they beat each other up, and the main event was the main event. It was Randy and Mr. Kennedy versus Batista and Eddie Guerrero, and they set up a six-man for next week. I have nothing more to say because we can't top that.
No, we can't.
We can't top that. All right. So anyway, with that said, SmackDown.
Craig said it sucked. I thought it was mediocre with
I don't know what Craig was watching. This was way better. Maybe because I'm enjoying every moment of my life now.
Just being alive?
I enjoyed being alive while watching SmackDown, and so it was okay.
That's entirely possible.
You don't sweat the small stuff, kids.
A shitty SmackDown don't matter.
No, the little shit doesn't bother me anymore.
That's right.
After yesterday.
That's right.
Little stuff that happens, like, I'm trying to log into some Google account, it just doesn't work, and it sends me back to the page. Yesterday I would have flipped out and called him and screamed at him and sent him nasty emails. Now I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Who cares?
Who cares?
So anyway, SmackDown. SmackDown opened with a wacky 20-minute promo, it seemed. Actually, it was a video package for the Raw SmackDown feud, which was useless since nothing became of that this evening.
No.
And Christian came out for what ended up being one of those annoying 20-minute segments where men come out one at a time to plead their case for something, and they have to play all of their ring entrances. And they basically all begged for a vote at Taboo Tuesday. And it hit me during this that they weren't begging nearly enough. Because really, these men they should all consider that they're really begging for something. Because if they win this voting, they're going to get a big pay-per-view payoff.
That's true.
I don't know if they actually realize that or not, or what, but I thought I'd be begging a hell of a lot better if I knew I had a pay-per-view payoff on the line. But they all said they wanted the match for Tuesday, whatever the hell it's going to be. And I should also mention now that Vinny and I are probably going to get Taboo Tuesday night. I realize waiting till this weekend, this particular week, is not going to work. So I thought I'd mention that here. You will have live on the website Taboo Tuesday coverage because we're forking out money out of our own pockets to watch it here at my house instead of going to Craig's this weekend. So, Craig, if you want to come out here, you're welcome to, but we got to get it over with.
And fuck you, WWE.
That's right. Screw you, Vince. McMahon. I just had to look at you for a second to let it sink in. Then we had Matt versus Ray versus Christian versus Bob versus JBL in a 5-man free-for-all that Michael Cole was putting over as a first ever, this big wacky thing. And go ahead and talk about it, Vince, because I've talked way too much on this show.
Went long. The finish was awesome. Was all I can really remember was the long sequence of everyone hitting their finisher and getting it broken up, and everything came together perfectly. And when it was done, Ray ended up pinning Christian with Rana, and then Ray and Matt Hardy were in the ring shaking hands and celebrating. So clearly that's who you're supposed to vote for in the tag match.
And the highlight of this, by the way, was when Michael Cole kept talking about Friday Night SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown, Taz is catching on, he said. Friday Night SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown. And then he added, TV that's really changing Friday nights. Our ratings increasing each and every week.
And is that true, Brian?
Oh, no.
Oh.
I laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed.
Are you calling Michael Cole a liar?
I'm calling Michael Cole a fucker and a liar. Because he annoys the shit out of me with his constant Friday Night SmackDown plugging. It's changing Friday nights. You know what it's changed it to? A shitty night. I used to like Friday nights. Now I got to watch SmackDown. Yeah. Let's look at what... You want to know what's happened on Friday night since they've moved to Fridays?
Tell me.
SmackDown's moved from Thursdays. I almost died.
That's true.
I almost died on a Friday night in a car wreck. Why? Friday Night SmackDown. It changed Fridays.
Those fuckers.
I didn't almost die before this switch from Thursday nights. Yeah, ratings. They've dropped to a 2.5. Woohoo! And then he also said 18 to 34, it's the highest rated show on Fridays. And I'm thinking, what the fuck else is on Fridays that any 18 to 34-year-old would watch? Family Guy? I don't know what's on Fridays. The Cosby Show? What's on Fridays anymore?
You're more likely to find the Cosby Show than Family Guy.
Fine. So then we had Booker and Sharmell having a meeting with Teddy Long, and Teddy said she cheated. Booker said no. Teddy said, I've got footage. He didn't just show a brief clip. He had to create an entire video package, which is about 16 minutes long, just to show her hitting Benoit with a low blow. And Benoit said tonight we'd find out what kind of a man he really was because he was giving Chris Benoit a rematch. Then Roddy Piper arrived and ran into Spanky, Paul London, and Funaki, and reacted to them in the exact way that you would expect Roddy Piper to react upon seeing these three men backstage at a wrestling event. And then he ran into Cowboy Bob, and they had words, and Randy Orton came up, and in the peak of irony, he said that he had burned Undertaker to ashes,
yes.
And tonight Roddy Piper would face the same fate. And that was a good one. I got to admit. That was a good one. Then we had a midget in a cop outfit doing some bullshit with Simon Dean that was useless. And then we had an even more useless segment, a match. Short Sleeve Samson and Thunderbolt Hank had a match together. Vince, the floor is yours.
When the topic of midgets on SmackDown first came up, I was very in favor of it, thinking it would be the AAA Minis and Masquerita Sagrada and Octagoncito running around, and I'd be very, very happy.
They're there, but they're in the back.
Okay.
They were there for the Simon Dean thing.
During this match, at one point, I turned to Brian and said, and I quote, "This is the worst midget match I ever saw." And it was.
Let me explain the finish.
Explain the finish, Brian. After the bucket of confetti and the bucket of water that missed everyone.
Thunderbolt Hank was going to drop kick Short Arm Samson, or whatever. Short Sleeves, the other midget. Actually, that's how Michael Cole referred to him. The other guy. He goes, the other guy.
The other guy.
The other guy tried to crawl. Okay, let me try to. I got to back up. Nick Patrick.
May I
was
give
the
it a
ref.
try?
No, Nick Patrick's the ref. Okay, and Nick Patrick's facing Thunderbolt Hank, and the other guy is behind Nick Patrick, and the other guy crawls on his hands and knees between Nick Patrick's legs. I'm not sure why. He just did this. So Thunderbolt Hank went to drop kick the other guy, and he drop kicked Nick Patrick in the balls on accident. And Nick Patrick fell down, and he was writhing and holding his nuts. And then Thunderbolt Hank came off his back with a big splash and pinned the other midget. And I thought, well, why was the other midget selling? Did I miss something? Was I not paying attention here? So I rewound it. It turns out, no, I was not missing something. What happened was the other midget was selling Nick Patrick getting kicked in the balls.
Right. My theory here is that Midget A kicked Nick Patrick's balls into Midget B's head.
Which is a perfectly logical theory.
And he was then knocked unconscious by the weight of Nick Patrick's testicles.
He kicked Nick Patrick in the balls so hard that the other midget fell down and was selling. And then he got the splash and the pin. And as bad as this was on TV, apparently it was 10 times worse live. And the network guy there was trying to put it over as something cool and something great that was going to get ratings. And I thought, this is the most ass-backwards booking logic I've ever heard of in my life.
There was a great moment where network guy was ranting and raving about how it was going to boost their popularity and everything, and how it was the best thing he'd ever seen for the network. And then it cut to a brief shot of Michael Cole, who had this disgusted look on his face.
Yes.
He's just ashamed to be alive.
Yeah. I'm glad to be alive. Michael Cole doesn't know.
You are not Michael Cole.
No, I'm not. Thank God. Then Booker came out, called out Benoit, said Charmel was going to give him a public apology. She was not down with that. She finally did apologize for many things, including, and I quote, "I apologize for making my husband a champion. I apologize for marrying someone who has no respect for me." Burn. She slapped him and walked out, and the people were appalled. And then she got on the ramp and turned around and said, "Oh yeah, and I also apologize for this." And Benoit got whacked with a belt shot to the head, and he gigged, and Booker T beat him up, and it was a 5-star angle.
Oh, yes.
Built around a 5-star woman.
Yes.
Who needs a 5-figure raise. I almost said something else very lewd. But, yeah, good stuff.
Yes, it was, and it everything we were asking about this that didn't make sense, like Booker not watching his own show. Well, it turns out he was. He was just acting like he didn't watch it. He knew what was going on.
He was diabolical.
He's not a fool.
No.
He's the puppet master.
Charmel, I'm in love with. She's a great, great woman.
That's true.
And she's far hotter as a heel, I noticed.
That seems to be the pattern. Remember when Trish turned heel at WrestleMania and like on screen she just suddenly became hotter?
I always thought she was pretty hot.
Well, she was always hot, but when they did the whole Jericho Christian thing at Mania, and she turned on Chris and fouled him, and then stood up and smiled, and you could see her getting hotter on screen. It was impressive, and we've been talking about Lita lately too.
No,
she's been a heel for a while.
She's just she has a couple days where
that's a bad example.
But yeah, she's yay Charmel. Then we had Eminem, LOD, Mexicools, Regal, and Burchill all in the ring for the tag titles. Vinny?
This is another really good one. You mentioned a week or two ago, I guess it was just last week, when Booker beat Benoit, and you said it was the first time a secondary title had seemed important in years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt the same way here. I take it you disagree.
I did not feel that way, but go ahead.
Yeah, I just felt the same thing with since there's now, for the first time ever, more than 2 tag teams for the first time in years, and they all actually want these titles, and they're all actually on screen fighting for them, it seemed like they were a little elevated. You're skeptical. I'm not convincing you.
You're not convincing me at all. The only good thing about this title change was that Melina was so happy.
Melina was very happy.
Like, it was almost like they hadn't smartened her up.
Yes.
Because they won the belts, and she just immediately screamed and wet herself, and I thought, my God, did you guys not tell her what was going to happen here or something?
Yeah.
Because she's way too excited. But yeah, she was very, very happy, and the finish came when they're no longer the Tolans.
Oh, they're not?
No.
What are their names now?
James and Chad Dick.
The Dicks.
The Dicks. And I'd like to add something else before we get to Ohio Valley. Dean Hill was introducing them on the show, and he fucked up. He called them Chank and Tad.
Chank and Tad.
Chank and Tad. And I thought, Chank and Tad Dick would be the greatest. Would it not?
It would be better than Chad and James.
You have to know Chad to know how great Chad being known as Tad Dick actually is. That is comedy
fantastic.
gold right there.
Oh, yes.
The T-shirts, the skits, Tad Dick.
I am Tad Dick.
I am Tad Dick.
This is my brother Chank.
This is my brother Chank Dick. But yeah, they're the Dicks, and they tossed Animal, I guess
They
it was.
tossed Heidenreich off the top.
Heidenreich. Why did I write Animal went to the top? I totally screwed this whole thing up. It doesn't matter.
There's a first.
They tossed him off. Fuck you. And Legion of Doom lost. And so the new champions are M&M.
Yay.
So now I need to ask, after 4 months of Legion of Doom 6000 holding the titles, Vince, what was the point?
I have one theory. Who is Animal's brother?
What's that have to do with anything?
We just wanted to make his brother tag team champion for a while.
He's not the booker.
All right, then. My thought's wrong.
Your thought's very wrong.
Do you have a better solution?
No.
All right, well
it's
then.
stupid. The only thing I could possibly think was a short run when the DVD was coming out of the Road Warriors, but they did this long after that came out, and it was 4 months of burying M&M. There's no logical explanation for it. And if anyone has one, try to convince me otherwise. I dare you. How about that?
Go for it.
Then we had Teddy Long signed Nunzio and the other Italian guy,
Vito.
Fettuccine.
Fettuccine.
Zito. Anyway, what's that fettuccine? Zito Parmigiana, something like that.
Anything of Chuck Zito?
Zito. No, the pasta. Jesus. Zito Parmigiana or something like that. Anyway, they're having a handicap match with Blaster next week. God, you're an idiot sometimes. Then Teddy Long went to open the same closet that the Boogeyman was in last week, and he was inside
Yes.
again. So if this happens 3 weeks in a row, Teddy is officially an idiot. And
The Boogeyman sang here, by the way. The Boogeyman sang about San Francisco, and it was great.
He did. He sang the song, My Heart.
I left my heart in San
I left
Francisco.
my heart in San Francisco.
And he was clutching a heart at the time.
Yes, he was. And I'm trying to figure out what's supposed to be in the room if the Boogeyman's not in there, because it's an empty room
An
that is
empty
completely
black
black.
room.
Maybe Satanico's room for when he cuts his promos. But he cut his little promo, he became the Boogeyman, and that was it. And he's coming to get us.
He's coming to get us, and he broke another clock.
And I'm excited. Eddie, Batista, and Roddy, oh Jesus, versus Ken, Randy, and Bob.
Mm-hmm. This is one of the ultimate tests of our theory that every show should be main evented by a 6-man. That being said, wasn't a disaster.
It was not a disaster.
They got the old man in the ring and beat him up for a long time.
That being Piper.
Yeah, thank
Bob
you.
Orton is actually, I believe, older.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they got the old babyface in the ring and beat him up for a long time.
Now, as we talk about the first match on SmackDown, which was the final match of Christian's WWE career for the time being that you will see, Rey Mysterio and Matt Hardy versus JBL and Christian. Vinny, floor is yours, young man.
You forgot to mention the special referee in this match.
Oh, the referee was Bob Holly, and I said, Vince, why is Bob Holly in a blue-collared shirt? And you said, he's refereeing. And I said, why? And you responded,
I don't know.
I don't think we ever figured it out.
Oh.
Now, granted, we did fast forward through some entrances, and maybe some important parts of the story were thus lost on us, but at the same time,
You would think if there were a major story behind Bob Holly being ref, the announcers might, mention it a few times during the course of the mat battle, but they didn't.
The only thing I can figure is that they had this match with the dudes who were up for the Taboo Tuesday match, because this was taped the Sunday before Taboo Tuesday,
But it aired after.
It was taped before, and I can see them doing this match. And as the music's playing, someone said, "Hey, wait a minute! There's 5 guys in this deal. We need to squeeze the other one in somehow."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then someone later going, "This is not going to air until after the pay-per-view."
Do you have a better solution?
No.
Okay.
I was just blowing down your solution. But go ahead, talk about the match.
Oh God, it was it was all right. It was every tag match you've ever seen, Open SmackDown, with 4 guys who know what they're doing. Nothing special, but didn't suck or anything. The highlight for me there are 2 things in the show that I will remember for a long time. And one happened in this match when Rey Mysterio gave John Bradshaw Layfield a big boot.
I actually liked what happened just prior to that, which was Rey Mysterio Jr. did a dive and wiped out 4 men.
Yes.
I was like, that is incredible.
That was good too. But
he's a very dense man.
Yeah, other than that, JBL and Jillian Hall, who was there, they ended up walking out, and Christian ate everyone's finishers, and Bob Holly's, Rey Mysterio's, Matt Hardy's, Edge, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. Everyone hit their finisher on him, and he got pinned.
They knew he was going home, and we were discussing on the board. In fact, on the show the other day, you'd mentioned that where's he going to go, perhaps back to Canada. Well, I talked to a lot of people today about young Christian, and I hate to break the news to everybody, but the chances of him going to TNA anytime soon are very, very slim. He wants to go home. He's got a lot of money saved. His wife makes a lot of money.
Oh, does she?
He's sort of burned out from wrestling, as you'd mentioned. He's been on the road for a long, long time. And I think the earliest you will see him in TNA is sometime next year. Do not expect him to be jumping ship and showing up on the next pay-per-view or anything like that. It looks like he's going to stay home.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, I believe Chris Benoit's contract is up in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
This has been rumored, and one individual in WWE who really would not know said he had not heard that, and the TNA side is sure, they're positive it's 3 weeks. So I'm thinking it's probably very, very likely that in 3 weeks Chris Benoit's contract is going to be up, and I don't know what he's going to do. Chris Benoit is not like Christian. Mm-hmm. Christian and Chris Jericho, they were held down for a long time. Christian's been frustrated for actually years.
5 years or so.
And one of the things that he was telling people was that he never wanted to be one of those guys that moved back down the ladder.
Okay.
He didn't want to be a guy that was sort of pushed high on the card and then kind of worked his way back down and was eventually in the openers. And Chris Jericho left while he was on top. He had a SummerSlam main event and he left. Mm-hmm. Christian's done. And both of them are willing to look at outside ventures. Christian wants to look into acting. He's got some other stuff that he's doing. Chris Jericho, obviously, is doing Fozzy and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Chris Benoit loves pro wrestling.
Oh, yes.
I don't think that there's anybody that can deny that he lives and breathes pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I think there are very few people in the business that love pro wrestling as much as Chris Benoit.
Right.
So when his contract is up, if he chooses to leave, he will choose to leave because he wants to wrestle elsewhere.
Yes.
If he has this desire to go to TNA or go to Japan and wrestle Brock Lesnar or, God, go to Mexico, Mexico's on fire, if he thinks he can make decent money and go to these places, then he will. But he's not going to do a Christian. He's not going to do a Chris Jericho. He's not going to take time off the road.
Yeah, right.
You would have to, I think, break his neck again for him to stay off the road for any length of time.
He did take a year off the road 3-4 years ago, and I'm sure that was enough for him for some time.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see guys just leaving. I have heard from many people this week the same phrase, which is people are learning there's life outside of wrestling.
Yeah.
And WWE is driving people out.
That's the bigger part to me.
They've driven out Chris Jericho. They've driven out Christian. They're not going to drive Chris Benoit out of wrestling. And in fact, he may resign. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
they may drive him out of the company. Which is effectively the same for them.
Sure. And that is, like you said, one of the major problems, which is WWE is taking very passionate performers and killing their passion.
Yeah.
And we're left with a bunch of guys, and this is a broad statement, which I shouldn't even make, but worst case scenario, if they drove out more passionate guys, you're going to be left with a product with a bunch of unpassionate guys who are there to collect a paycheck.
Yes.
And it's going to very much hurt the product and speed up the demise. So something needs to be done because Vince is going nuts, and the promo that he cut on Eric Bischoff at Taboo Tuesday was apparently the promo he's been cutting on everybody all week long. That's Vince McMahon this week. The yelling and screaming at Eric Bischoff this whole week. He's totally snapped. So it's a very miserable place to be right now, and that's your wacky, happy
That sucks.
WWE update. But yeah, Christian's gone. He got a lifeboat. He's off the ship. And what he does now, I don't know. But he doesn't appear to be doing any wrestling anytime soon. So I guess we won't be seeing what would have happened with Matt Hardy, at least at this point. So
Out of curiosity, what does his wife do?
I don't know, actually. I didn't ask.
She just has a job and makes good money.
She makes decent money, and he saved a lot of money.
I think that's probably the bigger thing.
It's a combination of both. And I'm sure whatever he's going to be doing, his projects aren't going to be free. There's going to be money to be made.
You won't be volunteering.
The point is he can make a little bit less money
Yes.
doing these things because he's got a backup deal.
He's got a backup deal.
My one gymnastics
And
class
he'll be
every
happy.
week is the same thing. I get a $77 paycheck every 2 weeks. And the point is I can do that because I have something else.
I see.
But it's the same deal with Christian. If he wants to act, he can do it for scale.
Yeah.
He can do it for $5 a day or whatever it is for an extra.
That's a good point.
So yeah, that's the deal with him.
Well,
So
good luck to him.
yeah, have fun, dude. We're gonna miss you, especially. We're gonna be missing
Especially
a lot
our
of
readers. Well,
we're gonna be missing a lot of people coming up soon. But so then Charmel came out looking hot, and introduced her man. And Booker came out, threw in a bunch of suckas line, which had me weeping. He ran down all sorts of people. They did a long video segment, which I thought was very good because they really hammered home the Chris Benoit Booker T deal.
yeah.
And they showed that Booker T, in fact, does watch SmackDown, which would have been logical if he didn't, to be honest with you.
Right.
Because nobody does, but he watches it, and he saw his wife's devilish actions, and he loved it. And she even referred to it as, and I quote, all my evil deeds.
Yes.
She is an evil person who knows she's evil and revels in it, which
That's awesome.
makes her all the sexier. But
Oh, yes.
then Teddy Long came out, and in the greatest moment since the debut of Super Porky, his first and last appearance apparently on this show, they danced.
Booker T. Earlier I said there were two parts of the show I was going to remember. Booker T and Charmel dancing to Teddy Long's music is the other one, and it is number one by far.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of people putting graphics on their postings, but if anyone can get me an animated GIF of Booker and Charmel dancing, I will put this on everything I ever do for the rest of my life.
I guarantee that somebody will have it up in the morning on our board because
God.
that's usually how fast people operate.
They
there.
were so happy and they were so into it, and you could tell they were clearly busting on Teddy because he was looking down trying not to laugh. Oh, it was so great.
Yeah, so Teddy came
Nothing
out.
else in the show matters. Booker T and Charmel dancing is it.
Yeah. So,
Let's go skip ahead to Ohio Valley.
sorry. Teddy signed Booker and Benoit for the IC title. They had their usual good match, nothing really spectacular. Benoit didn't nearly kill himself. I am still amused by the fact that he flew out of the ring, he hit his lower back on the table, and now it is morphed into a rib injury.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing is, I know that people say Michael Cole's just saying what's fed to him. But this has got to be a Michael Cole call because he's a moron. Because A, everybody knows Benoit hit his back, and B, the tape is down around his lower back. It's not even near his ribs.
That's true.
This cannot be a company call. They cannot possibly be this stupid. And I truly believe that Michael Cole could. So Michael Cole's sitting here saying, God, his ribs are screwed up, and Booker's going to work on the ribs. And I thought, oh, wow, he must be a machine and have some sort of strange exoskeleton because I've never seen a
Actually, that
rib
makes sense.
cage that low. But so anyway, they had a match and it was good. And God, I still have Christian on the mind. I was actually thinking of a Christian joke in here, a tribute to him, but
Do you have one?
no.
You want me to kill
I
time, so you
wrote it
think?
down. I
I
wrote
see.
it. It's better on paper than it would have been if I actually said it. So.
Okay, that makes sense.
So anyway, Booker walked out,
Booker walked out.
and I've got to say that I don't hate that finish.
No.
Because sometimes that finish works because people don't see it as a cheap finish like somebody running in for a DQ. They see it as this cocksucker walked out.
Yes.
I want to see Benoit beat his ass. Unfortunately, it did not work here. The audience did not want to see this finish, and they booed like, you guys fucked us over. And that was not a good thing, but what can you do? You never know how a crowd's going to react.
Yeah. All I can think was, if Honky Tonk's watching this, he's probably happy about it.
About what?
About the finish. The heel champion
That's
walked
right.
out.
Yeah, he probably was. We'll ask him next time he's on. What do you think of that finish here in 2005? So then Cowboy Bob came out, cut a promo, and I should note, I'll just get ahead of myself here, Randy cut a promo later on, and I would rather listen to 10 consecutive Cowboy Bob promos than one 30-second Randy Orton promo. I don't know what's happened to Randy Orton. He is so boring. His matches, except for his comical overselling, are so boring. And I'm getting ahead of myself. Cowboy had a match with Roddy Piper, who took his clothes off again. He's standing there in his skivvies in the middle of the ring. And I will say that he got a tan.
He did get a tan.
But the problem is Buddy Wayne would say, and he will educate you guys about tans next Thursday when he's on the show. I'll have him give a big tanning rant. But to sum up the rant, WWE lights are very bright. And if you go in the tanning booth for 5 straight days and you come out and you're the tannest man in your office complex, that doesn't mean shit when you're under the lights in WWE. You have to get over tan. You have to get beyond tan to the point where people look at you and go, my God, that looks weird.
Yeah.
And at that point, you will look mildly dark in WWE. And in order to look as dark as a Rob Conway, you've probably got to spray yourself with black spray paint to get that dark.
My friend Sean went to the WrestleMania press conference when they were up here in Seattle 2-3 years ago, and he's got a photo of himself standing next to Kurt Angle, and there's a few other good dudes around, and there's these normal, regular, Caucasian-looking people, and then standing in the middle, there's this Olympic gold medal winner who appears to be made of chocolate. He's a deep wood brown.
Yes. And it's funny because I had a friend that did a fitness competition, and she was always tanning, to the point where she's going to look about 80 years old when she turns 30.
Yes.
But it turns out that wasn't even the beginning of her tanning regimen. The day before, she went in and got one of those spray-on tans of, as you said, a deep wood brown. And she was so dark. Keep in mind she's got blonde hair, so this looked even more dramatic. She was so dark that she wore black spandex. And the difference in shade from the spandex to her legs was hardly noticeable. She was ungodly dark.
So no matter how hard you stared at her legs, you couldn't tell.
Well, no, you could tell. You could tell. It was no one can see Vince's shirt, but she was significantly darker than your shirt. So
Shirt's
anyway,
awfully brown.
The point is she went and actually did the competition, and I watched it, and they have bright lights as well. And seeing her on stage, you wouldn't even have known. She just looked like a mildly tan young woman. So anyway, the point of all of this is Roddy Piper probably put his ass in the bed for 2 straight weeks, or however long it's been since his last appearance, and baked himself and was bright red, and he still showed up on TV and everybody thought he was fish belly white.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Roddy. Not your fault, buddy, but you should know after 30 years in the business or whatever.
One more quick comment on Cowboy Bob. This man has the longest ears.
He does. They sag.
They do.
Yeah.
I just had to get that off my chest.
They had a bad match, but it was the most unintentionally hilarious match of the year thus far.
Cowboy Bob's punches are awesome.
And, oh, God.
He will punch with his right hand, and somehow his left hand ends up far, far behind him.
Yeah.
I don't quite get how that works.
And he has this absurd follow-through, like over the man's head or something. It's impossible to explain. Just watch it. But so anyway, Roddy Piper put on the sleeper, and then Randy ran in to kill the show, basically. And we don't need to talk anything more about that. Oh, he did give Roddy the... Let me sneeze in a minute. We don't want that on the air.
He gave Roddy the RKO.
Okay, I'm good now. All right. Blaster Lashley faced Nunzio and Big Vito, which I thought they'd done before. What are you laughing about? I said that you just got this humongous grin on your face. Like,
I'm just recalling the match. It was fun.
Okay. It was a fun match, but I will say this. This was the most exposed that Blaster Lashley's been in WWE. There was something about his comeback where he looked so green. He was like tripping
there were
over
some
himself.
Punches there and...
Well, it was more like he was tripping over himself and tripping over guys. I don't know if it was their fault for falling in his path or if he was just off kilter or what, but it wasn't a disaster by any means. But this was the greenest he's looked so far, and they need to remedy that immediately. But he killed both men, killed Nunzio.
Yeah. I found myself wondering here at least when Cornette was in OVW, and I think when Heyman took over too, they never let him do amateur stuff.
Yeah, I never understood why either.
I know he did clotheslines and his power slam. That was about it, and I don't get it.
It was very odd, and in fact, we mentioned that many times. We're like, this man needs to be doing amateur. He needs to be killing people like Kurt Angle when he's losing his mind, but he didn't. But now he does. So.
Now he does. So who cares?
Yeah, and they're letting him. And I'll bet Taz just goes nuts because they let Lashley pull out every suplex under the sun, and Taz was banned from 99% of his suplex arsenal. So
that's true.
That's good stuff.
I will say Lashley also he needs to get new gear.
Yeah.
When he showed up, he had I think it was blue and white getup, but it was wrestling gear, and now it is plain black trunks, plain black knee pads, and plain black boots.
That's right. I'd forgotten what he was wearing. I just said yeah, like I said yeah to Dave the other day after he'd been silent for 10 seconds.
Did I also go out? Did you not hear me for a few seconds there?
No, you said he needed better gear, and I just said yes. I just totally agreed with you without actually even remembering what gear it was. But I just assumed that you were right.
Wow, that's nice of you.
Yeah,
Thanks, dude.
It's a first, really.
Wow.
But now that I think about it, his gear's fine, so shut up. I'm just kidding. So then we had, I was going to say something else about this, but I forget what it was. Blaster Lashley, Nunzio.
You said you thought we'd seen it before. I think it's because he fought Vito, and in that match beat up Nunzio a lot, too.
I had said that as well. I don't remember. It was probably not important. Then we had the Boogeyman. The Boogeyman showed up because Bischoff arrived, and the Boogeyman was there drooling liquids.
Not even liquid, like a gel.
Yeah, and he said he was the Boogeyman, and he was going to get Eric, and then Eric left, and the Boogeyman was just standing there. And you said what?
I don't remember.
You were a fool, dude.
Oh, he had to get dressed up just for that.
Yes, he did.
He was on screen for about 8 seconds, and he had to put the Boogeyman makeup on.
Yeah, sucks to be him. So then we had Teddy in the ring calling out Bischoff, and he basically challenged him to a 10-man Survivor Series match at Survivor Series. And I was amused to notice that they didn't announce it was an elimination match. They just said it was a 10-man Survivor Series match, like everybody knows what that is. And they've got a lot of new viewers that have not seen a ton of Survivor Series matches. Yeah. So they probably should have said that. And I'm also amused because TNA has announced a 10-man Survivor Series match for their next pay-per-view, and good God Almighty.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Who are the teams of 5 in TNA?
I don't remember. It's on the board somewhere.
All right.
In fact, I could probably go to the TNA website.
Team Canada and somebody?
The point is, it's going to blow the shit out of this WWE version.
Oh, yeah.
But that's why they did it, if you're wondering. So
okay.
They've got some great talent under contract. But, yeah, that's going to be the next pay-per-view. So, and then this one, really, I was like, basically, Teddy said, let's give him a singles match as well. And Bischoff goes, fine, you get a SmackDown guy, I'll get a Raw guy. And Teddy goes, SmackDown guy I'm thinking of is me, Teddy Long. And the Raw guy is the Raw general manager, Eric Bischoff. And I thought, why would anyone want to see this match ever?
Any human being on the surface of the globe, North America, South America.
Including even their immediate families, because I'm sure their wives
Southern
don't
Hemisphere.
want to see him in the ring.
Who wants to see Eric Bischoff versus Teddy Long on pay-per-view?
I wouldn't want to see it for free, much less on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And this was supposed to be like a big draw. And the crowd was like, yay. And then they moved on to the next thing. And I thought, well, good one, Vince.
The crowd politely applauded because they were supposed to and then immediately shut up.
Yeah. Then we had... Oh, the best part of that deal, by the way, was when Bischoff, I'm sure on direction from Vince McMahon, ripped apart SmackDown.
Oh, B-show.
You're a B-show.
B-show talent, B-show manager, B-show wrestlers, B-show fans.
Second rate, thank you. Second rate show, second rate talent. Played before a second rate audience, which really annoyed the people for some reason. They didn't want to be called a second rate audience. So yeah, that's the big matches for that. Then they had an Undertaker promo, which was actually really great. Because the Undertaker's returning from the dead. I enjoyed it.
Wow.
I would rather see the thing every week than have to watch him actually return.
Yeah.
So I got no problem with that. Ken Kennedy versus Scotty 2 Hotty. Exactly what you would expect. I have nothing to say. Vince?
Scotty 2 Hotty has now been employed for something like 7 years. I remember seeing him in your house in Vancouver. You and I and Brent Kremen went up to.
Scott Taylor.
It was Scott Taylor.
Maybe since 96.
Really? Wow. That's the first time I remember seeing him. I may have seen him before then, but he's still around.
Yeah.
So, hey, good for him.
So then we had Eminem.
I guess maybe it's bad for him.
No, it's good for him.
Lately.
He'd be at He'd be
a Pinnacle.
I was actually thinking of, like, for some reason the Jingle Bell Ball popped into my head. No idea why.
What?
I don't know. I just pictured
the the concert put on by a radio station in Seattle, or is
No,
there some other definition?
I actually, what was in my mind, the visual I had was a department store around Christmas time, and him in a Santa hat, selling things to people, making $6 an hour.
I can't. Okay, yeah, he wouldn't be Santa. He would be an elf.
Yeah.
All right, I can see that.
So I don't know, and that popped into my head, and Jingle Bell Ball followed immediately. So I don't know how my brain works. I'm just telling you what it popped into it. Eminem, Big Dave, and Batista for the tag titles. Eminem versus Big Dave and Batista. I don't know if I made that clear enough. And Eminem really, after this feud with LOD that murdered them dead, they really needed something here. They needed something to rehab them. This was not it.
No.
And, yeah, the only thing I remember about this was a couple things. Taz screamed when Joey Mercury took a backdrop. Melina was nearly killed by a splash off the top rope. And that's all I remember. So,
Do you remember the finish?
Yeah, the brass knucks.
Okay, yeah.
She actually was wearing a gold gown, and the knucks matched her gown, which I thought was
You did point that out.
pretty clever. But yeah, overall, just kind of a nothing match, and I don't know what the point of it was. What was the point? Eddie screwed up, and Big Dave was frustrated. Don't tell me they're going to actually go through with this.
You can't possibly.
Because the idea was that they not. It was done. They decided not to turn Eddie back heel, and now I watch this, and I'm like, please, just what's happening on this show?
I don't know.
Now that the show's over, I'm really wondering what the hell the point of that match was.
Well, that was my thought when the show was over. That was the most pointless show in many a day. The only segment that at any point whatsoever was the Teddy Long and Eric Bischoff thing, where they announced the matches for Survivor Series.
Well, the Benoit Booker thing was good.
That was good. Nothing else advanced anything.
No. And the main event, now that I really think about it, what the hell was the point of that match?
I don't know.
I got no idea. So that was, I mean, overall though, it was a way better SmackDown than usual.
I guess.
We've seen some bad SmackDowns.
It definitely was not the worst I've ever seen.
And we saw a bad
show.
Raw on Monday.
It was much better than Raw on Monday.
And I'm actually surprised I liked it as much as I did, seeing as to how I saw TNA last night, which was a hell of a show.
TNA blew this out of the water.
It did, that's true.
This blew Raw out of the water.
Oh, God, yes. But Raw was one of those Raws where... I was actually talking about Raw with somebody today, and both of us could not remember a thing from it. But I distinctly remembered that it was an intriguing Raw.
There was that.
And I will always, in 10 years, I'll bet I'll be able to look back and go, God, remember that one Raw before Taboo Tuesday? I'll always remember it, but I won't remember a thing about it. Is that weird? I guess I'll remember Vince freaking out, but that was at Taboo Tuesday, so that doesn't even count.
I remember them putting Cena in position to be booed. I remember the whole Austin Coach, Big Dave, Big Fat Vader, Goldust segment.
That's right. I think maybe because it was buzzing on the board all night, and that was such a
that was true. There was the Christian thing.
Monday and Tuesday were absolutely crazy days, and I think that's why they're so vivid in my mind.
Part of the reason you forgot it too is because they did do the pay-per-view 24 hours later.
That's true.
So it's already history now.
Yeah. The SmackDown show. Your initial thoughts on the episode in question?
Pretty good show with one very good match and ending on a very great angle.
So great we lost a world champion.
Well, except for that part. The booking was great.
Big Dave is done for, I'm afraid. I don't know that for certain, but I'm thinking Big Dave ain't going to be around for a long, long time. And they announced the Orton, Eddie, and Big Dave match. Mm-hmm. You'll all be happy to hear that I didn't say Big Dave, Batista, and Orton, which I know half of you were waiting for, so fuck off. Yeah, Eddie Guerrero, Big Dave, and Randy Orton. Anyway, they're going to have a match next week for the belt, and I expect Big Dave will be laid out backstage or something. I don't think he's going to get into the ring. He still can't move his arm, and I'm not sure how that's going to be repaired by Tuesday. But the match is confirmed.
Actually, aren't they taping it Sunday?
Are they?
I believe they're doing a double taping on Sunday.
Well, I don't know how it's going to be fixed by Sunday, so he's looking like he's in some pretty bad shape. But I was watching the opening segment, which was Teddy Long giving a wacky speech to the troops, which was so funny because Teddy Long is, first off, he's a dingbat. Second off, you've got the entire SmackDown crew, heels and babyfaces alike, who apparently have been told by whoever was in charge to act. And that's not necessarily a good thing to ever tell a group of pro wrestlers, because they all... It was so stupid.
Eric Bischoff last week on the show came out and said it was a B show. Everybody heard it. Everybody heard everything that went down on Raw. So you'd think that in a real-life meeting, if this meeting were really taking place, Teddy Long would go, last week, Eric Bischoff said we were a B show. And Vince would have shaken his head, and I would have shaken my head and such. Instead,
we would not have been surprised.
No, everybody was shocked and outraged. My God, he said that?
Well, they don't watch their own show, you see.
So every time Teddy Long said anything that was bad, they would respond loudly in response to this bad news. Oh, ah. And whenever Teddy Long said anything, like, we're going to get him, they'd go, yeah, and they'd clap their hands. And it was just so absurd. And the gist of it was Teddy said, tonight we're going to have some matches to choose the teams for the SmackDown versus Raw Survivor Series match. And I noticed during this segment that Batista didn't look too happy. And
no.
He went to clap his hands and didn't move much. And I thought, was he badly hurt going in? But then as it turned out when we watched the actual angle, he clearly grabbed his lat after a big boot. So
yes.
I'm suspecting he was hurting for some reason going in, and the big boot probably
hurt more.
Sealed his fate.
Yeah.
But things don't look good for Big Dave. But yeah, that was the opening deal, and Teddy said Randy Orton would be fighting first, and that was going to be the opener. That's your cue, Vince.
Oh, I see it.
Jesus.
Well, yeah.
I've even changed it so I slowly start fading out.
Okay, I have to admit, that one was intentional.
Okay.
I knew you were feeding me a line. I thought I'd just give you some dead air.
You're such a liar, but go on.
How dare you?
It's a good cover for your idiocy.
You like that?
But go on.
I'm thinking on the fly. Yeah, there's nothing else to say.
It was a rib, but you still had nothing to say.
Okay, it was bullshit, I admit.
Thank you.
You had to admit it was a pretty good lie on my feet.
No, you lied twice.
Yeah, the first one was good.
No, it wasn't, because I didn't believe you, so it wasn't good.
I bet people listening did.
Yeah, right.
Now I'm caught. Randy Orton wrestled Rey Mysterio.
Well, why don't you talk about it?
Okay,
You have something to talk about for once.
Cowboy Bob is great. There's a moment where, look at you. Randy Orton hit a headlock takeover, and they cut to Cowboy Bob, who said, "Headlock takeover. That's my boy." And that's the highlight of the match as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. They actually had a decent match.
It was all right.
Which, I don't know what you were doing, but I was paying very little attention to this match, and even I figured that out, but I don't know what happened. Actually, I forget.
Hang on.
Ray did something or other, and Cowboy Bob pulled him off the apron.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Ray
God. I can't believe I forgot that.
Ray was nearly killed.
Ray was killed.
This was a DQ, so he made his way into the Survivor Series match, and it should be noted that Eddie did as well, and Batista is hurt, which only leaves one man without a match at Survivor Series. It's in the title match next week, so let me tell you a little something right there, but I don't know what you do. I wouldn't put the belt on Orton. I don't know if I'd put it on Eddie. I'd hate to take it off Big Dave, but you've got to, so.
In the short term, I think Eddie's the best choice, and certainly in that match.
Yeah, but Eddie may flip out again when you immediately take the belt off him.
Well, there's that,
There
too.
is no good answer, basically.
Yeah, they're screwed.
Actually, they're decent answers, but those decent answers are not to be, I don't know.
Undertaker?
No. Hell
JBL?
No. Somebody from Raw jumping over?
Ah, I see.
Benoit?
Okay, that's a good one.
Just re-sign him or something. I don't know. But then Matt Hardy ran in, and the crowd went ballistic. And I was informed during the match, actually, that it was not crowd sweetening. They really went that crazy for Matt, which I can't even fathom.
Wow.
But when you really think about it, it makes more sense that they actually went that crazy for Matt Hardy than WWE deliberately crowd sweetened Matt Hardy.
Yes, that's true.
So there you go. Then we had...
Matt laid out Randy with the Twist of Fate, and then Randy threw a fit backstage because his RKO is a better move. So he swore revenge.
Revenge.
What are you doing?
I was typing, and I was hoping you'd see me typing and carry the show for a minute, but you didn't.
Well, that would be a first.
You left the door open for me. Eminem came out, and Melina was selling her injury from last week, and her first words were, "I should be home recuperating." And I thought, yes, you should. What the fuck are you doing here? You were almost killed last week. But it means nothing now, because she's already back and walking, and she basically said she was outraged that the people were booing her. And this segued into a rant about Tyra Banks and America's Next Top Model. She called out a girl named Michelle Titan, who was a supposed contestant on the show, who was I guess named Titan because she was 25 feet tall, like a giant from Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, and 94 pounds.
I was actually going to say 66 pounds.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're a much better judge of these things than I am.
She came out and made every girl on SmackDown, and everybody backstage, I should note, in the opening segment, look like Oscar-winning performers.
Yep.
She was so awful. And as it turns out, she's a Midwest indie worker.
Really?
An indie performer.
I
don't know if she was a worker. This person just said she was a performer. And I thought, perhaps she's the top rope or something of that nature, because I cannot fathom her actually doing anything a speaking or physical role.
I have just banned myself from all Midwest indies so I don't risk seeing her again.
Yeah, so she came out and they got into a catty argument, slap fight. Melina slapped her down, actually, and the bad guys went to work on her, and who should make the save but the biggest fans of America's Next Top Model on the SmackDown roster, the Mexi-Cools. And they made the save and then began dancing with her, and I know they had foul intentions.
Wow, I came out of nowhere.
They wanted to deflower
her. They probably did, and maybe...
I know how the Mexicans work.
They may have backstage after the camera stopped rolling, for all I know. There were two great moments in this whole segment, and I know it's hard to believe, and what's even harder to believe is that these two great moments came from one Michael Cole, who was... Taz was going off about how he knew this girl, trying to make himself sound hot and stuff, and Michael Cole says, well, she used to work at a pizza parlor. Maybe that's where you ran into her. And that was great moment number one. Great moment number two was when the Mexicals music started playing, and they started to dance, and the model started to dance. About 8 seconds went by with this going on in the ring when Michael Cole suddenly noticed, hey, they're dancing.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
They danced.
I love Michael Cole. I do.
All right, well.
I'm the one. It's me.
Well, you're fired.
Dang.
Take the headsets off, dude. I can do the show without you. Next up, we had Lashley and Orlando Jordan for a spot on the Survivor Series team. And...
Lashley won.
I knew you couldn't do it. Get back here. I can't have you in the background acting like an idiot. Put the headphones on.
I will.
You actually talk less when you're hired.
That's true. Basically, whatever I can do to annoy you, I will do.
If I want to take over this show, I need you on the air because it's the easiest way to do it. If I ban you from speaking, you suddenly have 18 million wisecracks to make in the background. Fine, talk about it. Lashley and Orlando.
They just put up the graphic of Bobby Lashley and Orlando Jordan, and I laughed even harder than I did at Michael Cole in the pizza line. And sure enough, Lashley won. He hit a million moves, including Taz's T-bone suplex, and finally hit the Dominator and pinned him.
I expected a much bigger beating, and I was therefore disappointed.
Wow, sorry, dude.
Then we had Edge and Lita's Breasts meeting with Teddy Long, and he said he didn't want this street fight with Big Dave. And Teddy said, well, that's fine with me, but you need to run it by Big Dave, and you need to go ask him yourself. So Edge was not too happy about that, and that played into the show later on.
Oh, yes, it did.
Eddie faced Ken Kennedy in a Survivor Series qualifying match.
Another very good match. Well, not very good. It was a good match. And
you know what I was just thinking?
What's that?
You know, like on talk shows, they have a applause sign.
Yeah. I need one that says speak.
Yeah, I was thinking of getting like a green light behind me on that wall right there.
Hit the button and I go.
I'd have it on my mouse pad, and every time it was your turn to talk, I just hit the green button.
There's a flaw in this plan.
You don't pay any attention.
I don't pay any attention, and even if I was paying attention, I may still have nothing to say.
That's true, but at least you'd have a cue. Half the time you do have something to say, and you still don't get my cue when I slowly fade out and definitively finish a sentence.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is giving you the office.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that term.
And the other reason I know you wouldn't do it is because you see that little mixer right there with the green light going up and down?
That one over there?
Yeah. If you keep your eye on that, you'll know if you're talking too loud or too quiet. I know never in your life have you looked at that knob or that diode or whatever it's called right there.
Display thingy.
Yeah.
See, even now I'm too quiet.
Yeah.
Louder.
No, you do that often. You scream and it hits the red.
It goes red?
Yes, if you scream loud, don't try it, but it'll go all the way up to the red right there. And half the time, and you'll just, I don't know what it is.
I'm never in the yellow. I know that's where you want me.
No, you just, right about right there.
Yeah, and I'm never there. Well, I'm right there. Now I see it too quiet.
It's practice makes perfect, Vince. If you're ever going to host a football radio show during drive time or something like that, and get the hell out of this fish-related job, then you better learn how to speak so that the people can hear you. Can't be drowned out by your host. So get back to work. What were you talking about?
I don't even remember. Smackdown. Eddie?
I'm lost too.
Yeah, it was Eddie. It was Eddie and Kennedy.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, and the finish was the classic Eddie deal where ref took a bump and Eddie got a chair and then whacked the mat with a chair to make a big noise and tossed it to Ken. And then the ref woke up and saw Ken with a chair and disqualified him. So Eddie cheated to beat Ken by disqualification, and then...
Let me even make it more specific. He fucked him out of the main event at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
There was a
Yes.
peak right there. You hit the red when you screamed "yeah" as loud as possible.
Really? I was not paying attention again.
I know. That's the point I'm trying to make. That was the point of the rant 5 minutes ago about the green light.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, go on.
So, so Ken, who has just been disqualified for hitting Eddie with a chair, then decided to hit Eddie with a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made perfect sense.
Sure.
In a, cruel, violent kind of way.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole called him a poor loser. After he been fucked at a main event of Survivor Series and then merely did what he'd been accused of doing.
Yeah, he was a poor loser.
Yeah.
And Taz said he had no right to do such a thing.
No.
He'd taken, I don't know. So, yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, so Eddie's in.
Then we had the doctor meeting with Eddie and saying he might have a concussion. Big Dave walked in and asked if he was okay. Eddie said he was fine. And I don't know what the point of this was, looking back.
I guess just to get Eddie out of the main event angle entirely.
I see.
I don't know why he couldn't have been in JBL's posse.
Yeah.
But,
So then we had Mini Pieroth versus another midget. Actually, it was Per Ohito.
No, Perohito, yes.
And the second midget, who I don't even know his name, but I know he was not Thunderbolt Hank, and he looked like a midget Zach Gowen with 2 legs.
Yes, that was... Your exact comment was, did somebody leave Zach Gowen in the dryer?
And he came out, and I've seen some bad midgets.
Remember 2 weeks ago when I said it was the worst midget match I've ever seen? Never mind.
This midget was so bad. I don't even really know how to explain how bad this midget was. I don't know if he was nervous, a nervous midget, what the deal was, but he botched every spot there was to botch.
My favorite was where they did the bit where you throw the knee to the gut and the other guy does a flip bump.
Yeah.
He did that, and then he fell down and sold his knee. As if Perofito had hit a tumbling gut to the knee.
Well, Perohito is a large, bulbous midget, so...
He may have hurt him with his gut. And bless that guy's
I
heart.
can't believe I just said that, but go on.
He was trying so hard with this load that he was stuck with.
Yeah.
And I'm almost positive that was the real Perohito.
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 Why wouldn't it have been?
You said it during the match you weren't sure it was. You said it could have been anyone under a mask.
I didn't.
You did. I swear to God you did.
No, I never said that. I have no doubt it was the real one. The real Perohito.
Perhaps you were joking, but I swear to Christ Almighty, that's what you
maybe
said.
you heard Taz or
No,
Tony.
no, it was Brian Alvarez. You said that could be anyone under that mask. There could be a midget in every state. That was what you said.
No, you jackass. We were talking about the little Zach Gowen midget. And you said something along the lines of, they flew you in. Were you talking about...
Oh, I was talking about Perofito.
I thought you were talking about the other midget.
Oh.
And I'm like, no.
No, okay, the crew didn't fly that jackass in.
Yes, I was like, I'm sure there are midgets in every state. So I figured it was a Midwest midget.
All right, it's all settled.
Of course it's the real one. Why would they bring in...
I don't know.
Why would they bring in Mini Abismo Negro and put him in Pieroth's outfit?
I don't know.
They wouldn't.
Well, I still don't know why they brought in Mini Piroth and paired him with this guy.
Well, I don't know.
All right.
Perhaps the other midget was busy somewhere down in Mexico. Perhaps he's Carnival's coming to town in Arena, Mexico.
Oh, that is true.
So, where were we? They had a horrid match. Wretched match. And Perohito came off the top of the flying elbow and...
pinned him.
Won.
Yay, juniors.
And this division sucks.
Oh, it sucks bad. No Porky.
No Porky. Oh, but speaking of the juniors, Edge was backstage with Lita. He said he was going to go talk to Dave, and he told her to stay there while he was gone. He said she should be safe there. And as he left, rising from behind the couch, like Godzilla from the sea, was the Boogeyman. And as he rose, the lights subsequently dimmed and turned red.
That was the best part. Lita looked around saying, hey, what's going on here in this strange SmackDown television show?
Yeah, Lita turned around and he was behind her.
Yep.
And he sang a song which I've been alerted was from Spaceballs. Or at least that's where it was popularized here in the U.S.
Huh.
And she freaked out and ran away. And then he giggled or snarled or something.
Goo fell out of his mouth, and he did his catchphrase. Now, the funny thing was, it's the Boogeyman. I think you've all seen him by now. This enormous black man with red paint and black polka dots on his head. And he rose up, and she turned and saw him, and goo fell out of his mouth, and he screamed, I'm the Boogeyman, and I'm gonna get ya. And then she screamed.
Yeah.
Before, she was just curious.
She had to be threatened with being gotten.
Gotten.
Yes.
He's going to get me. I should flee. Yes.
Yeah.
And then he sang the Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, which I think was in Spaceballs.
And actually,
Princess Vespa sang it.
Watch me find out it was actually Lightning Hopkins that popularized that theme in a blues song.
Entirely possible.
For that term. Then we had a Mystery Hispanic meeting with the Dicks, who made a lot of rock-hard jokes and such, and then sprayed each other with oil.
Oh, yes.
So they're gay.
They're gay, and
if
they
you
make
haven't figured
jokes,
it out
yes.
yet. Yeah.
So, and then, as Taz succinctly put it, the Dicks are coming.
Yes, so we're apparently supposed to be really stupid and unable to figure out the gayness on our own. It needs to be hammered down upon our heads. JBL faced Chris Benoit in a Survivor Series match.
Yay! This match ruled. You disagree? All right.
No, I'm waiting for you to
you
continue.
want me to say more? Oh, it was a very good match, as you'd expect from Chris Benoit and JBL. Benoit threw a million suplexes, and JBL went up for all of them, and Benoit was going for the headbutt when Booker and Charmel came out, and Charmel was cool enough to be wearing a crown this week because she's a beauty queen. So they came out to do commentary, and the match kept going, and Benoit finally got JBL in the sharpshooter, and JBL was teasing tapping, so Booker climbed up in the apron. Benoit let go, and then JBL tapped, which was odd.
Yeah, he tapped after he'd been released from the hole.
Yes. So Benoit disposed of young Booker T, and then turned around into a clothesline from hell and got pinned. So JBL's on the Survivor Series team, and Benoit, I'm sure I'll fight Booker at Survivor Series if he's around.
He'll be around.
He'll be around. You now pause while Brian scratches his ear.
The highlight of this match, or the low light, whichever way you look at it, was Benoit giving JBL an overhead belly-to-belly that caused me, Vince, Booker, and Charmel to all at the same time jump out of our seats and scream.
Yes.
In unison, 4 people, halfway across the world.
Days apart.
Yeah, and probably everybody watching this as well probably had a similar reaction, but that scared the piss out of me. Thankfully, death was averted, so we're fine. Then we had the main event, the supposed Big Dave versus Edge street fight match. Both guys came out, then clips aired on the big screen of Bischoff in the parking lot speaking with Teddy Long. Teddy Long told him to hit the bricks. Out came Chris Masters, who put Teddy in the master lock. Bunch of SmackDown dudes came out to make the save, and Teddy was screaming, "Go, go!" And so they jumped in a car and zoomed off. And so with them gone,
this left Kane and Edge in the ring, or excuse me, Kane, Batista and Edge in the ring, or at least Edge was on the ramp, and suddenly Edge pointed to the stage, and through hellfire and brimstone, out came Kane. And then the Big Show's music played, and the look on Big Dave's face when the Big Show song played and he knew he was fucked.
Yeah.
It was great.
The highlight of this really is when you really break it down, where the idea was you needed to distract the SmackDown guys so that the Big Show could sneak in through the crowd.
Yes. Yes, Big Show snuck in through the crowd.
And Kane came from backstage, and he'd had the music guy and the pyro guy set his stuff up.
Sure. You slip them $20 and they'll do
sure,
music for you.
I guess that's the deal, but
yeah.
For some reason it didn't really hit me at the time, but it just hit me now, the comedy of that. But I don't know, perhaps I actually have no logical explanation whatsoever.
So Kane and Show came out and they beat up Dave, and almost immediately Kane hit him with a big boot, and that's when Dave grabbed his lat. So I don't think it was a choke slam at all.
No. And let me read the list of men who came out to save the day, since approximately 3 men had driven off in a limo. 3 whole men, maybe 4. I can't remember the exact number, but the rest of the roster on SmackDown, aside from JBL, Ray,
Matt Hardy was there.
Matt Hardy,
someone else,
some other jobber, but
Lashley.
Lashley. Oh, geez, I screwed up. Oh, all the guys on the team.
Oh yeah. No, Matt Hardy was. He's not on yet. I'm sure he will be now.
He's Eddie's partner. So out came Shoichi Funaki.
He didn't win.
Scotty 2 Hotty.
He didn't win.
Spanky.
He definitely did not win.
Paul London.
Didn't win.
Bob Holly.
Surprisingly, did not win.
Heidenreich.
Doing his arm motion as he ran in, didn't win.
Animal.
Didn't win.
And I don't know where everybody else was. I guess that's the whole roster. What a shitty roster. Which reminds me, let me go back to a line that Teddy Long said at the very beginning of the show, which I've actually typed out here verbatim because it was so great. He was standing in front of this whole crew, and he called them, and I quote, the greatest semblance of talent in the history of sports entertainment.
And you laughed, and you laughed, and you laughed.
The Smackdown locker room.
Yes. Simon Dean.
Simon Dean.
He didn't run out to make the save.
Well, he was not going out there. He was smart. I guess you had the heroes ran out to get in the car and drive away. The fools ran out to make the save, and all the smart guys just sat in back and
that actually makes perfect sense.
And didn't play video games.
That is true.
So they double choke slam Dave, left him laying, and that was that.
And the show went off the air. And except for the whole torn lat thing, just a fucking awesome angle.
Yeah, it was a good angle. Pretty good.
I loved it.
Okay. Pretty darn good little SmackDown there,
yeah.
All things considered. I've seen way worse shows, so I'd give it a thumbs up this week. What the hell?
Definitive thumbs up.
Why not? Then we had Ohio Valley, which was a strange show. Something about Ohio Valley. Even when things are good, it still seems it's trying to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. The main event, let's just jump right to the main event since little else on this show mattered except Maria got in a cat fight with that girl and let's just say different everything. Different planets, different solar systems, different universes. Just different.
There was one other notable event.
What?
CM Punk had his first good Ohio Valley match.
Yeah, he did. He had a good match.
And it was with Brent Albright, who's the best guy in the company, but hey, a good match is a good match.
He was billed as weighing 245 pounds. That's newsworthy.
That was also newsworthy. And Al Snow still insists he's a former pure champion.
No one's smartened him up yet.
No.
Maybe CM Punk realized how horrible he is, and he's telling him this shit to
That's true.
Make him sound stupid. I was a pure champion, Al, for months. So anyway, they had a match. It was good, blah, blah, blah. So then we went to the main event, which was the whole gist of the show, which was the long-awaited, over a month in the making, according to email, after Matt Capitelli broke his leg in half.
Yes.
They had a match, Johnny Jeter and Matt Capitelli for the Ohio Valley title, and it went about a half hour.
Yes.
No commercial breaks.
Nope.
Really a hell of a match. But there was something about it. It just, I don't know.
It took me about 10 minutes to really get into it.
I was into it from before they came out.
Really?
Oh, they did a hell of a job.
They came out and they had the ring cut in half with the security guys. And they all threw streamers, which was funny because if you pay attention, they weren't coming from the fans. They were all coming from the camera side.
It was...
It didn't look quite authentic. But...
It was that geek's name that I worked? It's down there.
Huh? Oh, Vince Hall?
Vince Hall.
I'm sure Vince Hall was throwing
Vince, if
streamers.
you're listening, I'm sorry I called you a geek. I figured if I said geek, Vince would immediately know, but...
Come to think of it, he may not have been doing his job. He may have been marking out and throwing streamers.
That could be.
But, yeah, and they had the big stare down, and then they started to fight, and they tried to have a Mick Foley hate-filled brawl.
Good.
No,
so they should have done.
It's good they tried. They're just not good enough at it.
No, I think they did fine. They did fine.
All right.
I thought the opening when they came down to the ring I thought was great. Holding them apart with security I thought was great. The bell rang, and I don't watch a lot of hockey, but if two men locked up in a hockey fight, this was how they locked up.
That's actually pretty true.
They went to work on each other. They beat the piss out of each other. There were some hard chops back and forth, and nobody did any holds. That was the best part.
Yes, there was not a single
the fuck
hold.
Would you do an arm
No one
bar?
hit the ropes.
Yeah,
between these two guys.
Yeah. You don't need to hit the ropes and put on arm bars in a blood feud. You beat the shit out of each other.
They kicked and they chopped and they forearmed and irate.
And they had a hell of a match, and the crowd was into it. And a lot of great near falls at the end. Everything about it was good. It was a really great match. I don't know if it's just because I've seen so many long, boring Ohio Valley matches that this seemed wrong, but I don't know. I bet if I watched it again, not at 11:30 p.m., I'd probably like it a lot better.
It's possible.
Nothing wrong with it, though. Great match, and finish saw Capitelli dive and Ken Kennedy outside because Kennedy tried to run in and took him out with a super kick. And then in the ring, Kennedy had thrown the belt to Jeter. Jeter ended up giving him a low blow to the balls, a foul, and then hitting the belt shot. And the ref woke up and counted the pin. So
Yeah.
all the little girls around Louisville cried. But
that was kind of where they lost me, because they had 150 guys at ringside, before the match. Then as soon as it started, they all disappeared, and no one was there to stop King Kennedy from coming out. So they lost me there. But that was
the least of the problems in the world of wrestling this week.
That did not.
The security was there to make sure that they didn't kill each other before the bell rang. And after the bell rang, they'd even said...
They were all drinking coffee?
Well, Al or Dean or whoever even said the ref has been told, let things go. Let there be a winner here.
I see.
And so there was no reason for security to be all over the place.
I see.
Because they wanted to kill each other. So I think that of all the... Kane coming out with his pyro in a run-in from another show, I think is a far bigger faux pas than no security being there to stop Ken Kennedy.
I can just explain that because Kane has magical powers.
His music?
Sure.
He just waves his hands and his theme plays?
He's Kane.
He'd have a better fucking theme if he had magic.
Wow.
I don't know. Go on.
Yeah, the show ended.
You have nothing more to say about the match after I just said it was fine?
No, they started off with a big brawl. Like I say, no one hit the ropes, no one did any holds, no one did an arm bar. They just... chopped and kicked and punched, and then eventually they started doing spots. Jeter was constantly working over Capitelli's leg. They teased the Texas Cloverleaf a bunch of times. About the fourth time, he finally got it, and Cap got the ropes. Cap came back, hit a huge crossbody off the top.
Cap?
I know, I'm marking out for Al Snow now, aren't I?
Stop that.
Sorry, Capitelli hit a huge crossbody off the top.
It's like Ken Flo.
Ken Flo. Call him Matt Cap. Would that be better?
Yes. Matt Cap. This is a comedy show?
Well, we're not. Someone has to be.
Jesus, go on.
Yeah, they each hit a super kick, and then at the end, Jeter hit him with the belt and pinned him for the...
Matt Cap.
They flew in a ref from Mexico, I think, to make the world's slowest 3 count. And he did. It took him about 8 seconds to make this 3-second count, and everyone was sad, except Johnny Jeter and Ken Kennedy.
Yeah, so... a couple of weeks, they'll have the big rematch, and the tide may turn.
Oh, it may indeed.
That's all I got to say. Oh, they set up Bobby Lashley versus Ken Doane for the TV title next week, and that'll be interesting, I guess. I will say that all the build for this match, they delivered a hell of a match for all the build. This was not a disappointment, I will say that.
No.
And Paul Heyman did a hell of a job building this up because it really seemed like a hell of a main event match when it was... coming down to the ring, getting ready to start, and even during the match. So he deserves a lot of credit for that. So
yes,
thumbs up for Big Paul Heyman this week.
Oh, I was going to say always, but there's almost always a big thumbs up for Paul Heyman.
Yeah, he's had a couple of shows I haven't been high on.
Yeah.
So
really,
I was high on this show. So.
Often thumbs up for Paul Heyman, and this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, so good stuff there, Paulie. And I think, how do you review a tribute show put on by a bunch of people who... the majority of which probably did not want to be there, and the show was taped the day that they discovered that their comrade had passed away.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, even things that normally you would say negative things about, I mean, you can't really judge anybody on this particular day. So
yeah.
I don't really want to say anything much about the show, but I will say that I think it's pretty clear the commentary was not done the same day. They had a couple of shots of Cole and Taz, but just listening to them throughout the evening, there's no way they did this on Sunday. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that.
The only other thing I have to say is that these last 2 shows were just very surreal and weird.
Yeah.
And you're not going to, at least I'm not, it's going to be even weirder next week when we watch SmackDown and Eddie isn't on it.
And it has to be normal.
And yeah. And it's not going to work. There's going to be Eddie chants forever.
Oh, yeah.
And good, by the way. I don't want to discourage people from that, but it's going to be very strange.
It was very odd also watching clips of Ken Kennedy just last week. They had clips of Eddie Guerrero's last match, which was last week. Yeah. 1 week ago, he was having a match in the ring.
A fine one.
Yeah, and now he's gone, and it was very, very weird to watch that, but... I mean, it was a show. It was a show. There was nothing, nothing wrong with the show or anything like that.
No, they played all the highlight clips from Eddie's matches. If you've seen the DVD, you saw everything they showed tonight, but I have no problem watching any of that over again.
Yeah. So, And I will say that the video that they had was just about the greatest tribute video I ever saw.
The Three Doors Down one?
Oh, yes. The one they had tonight. I thought it was way better than the one they had Monday.
There's a shot. I don't know why this one shot stuck out with me, but it says from his Gringos Locos days, where he's got the U.S. flag on the Stars and Stripes, and he's walking down the alley. Walking down the aisle, and he just turns and shouts, and it's something so vibrant. And
yes, it was great stuff. So, if you did not see SmackDown, get a tape of it just for that video. And they had a bunch of cool stuff, including a lot of stuff actually that they must have gotten from the family, because there were just a ton of like home movies and personal photos, and it was good stuff.
Yeah.
So,
did you ever watch that special?
Which one?
The Eddie Guerrero.
Oh yeah,
okay,
I saw it. But I was actually looking for your review of it when I was trying to do the story this week, and that was quite the task trying to find that thing. I'm glad that now that everything is on the site, you would think that it would be more friendly in the searching.
It's actually harder, isn't it?
It's actually much harder. I typed in Vince Verhey stealing life or cheating death, and about 17,000 things came up, and I thought, oh, here we go.
You just see this list of about 100 old newsletters, and you know it's in there somewhere.
Yes, I guess you just have to know by heart a phrase that you used in the article. And of course, something like "great match" wouldn't exactly work. So, yeah, that was a SmackDown show tonight. So if you didn't see it, check it out. We haven't actually talked about Tuesday yet, and it'll give you some more time to talk while I continue writing. So, well, everyone wants to hear your thoughts, I'm sure, Vince. They've already heard mine for 4 straight days now, so it's your turn.
Well, I was reading the results online while I was at work, so I knew it was going to happen before I watched the show. And watching it, I told Brian this, but I wanted to be angry, but I couldn't. I was just sad for many reasons. Number one, I was just reminded that Eddie Guerrero had died, which is always, that's not what you want in entertainment.
Yeah.
I was sad that guys who were his friends were taking part in the whole thing. I was sad that the people in charge were so clueless as to think no one will be bothered by this.
It wasn't clueless. They didn't care.
I see.
There's no way you could possibly be so clueless as to think, gee, it'll get over great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they thought that as well, but they knew. They didn't care.
Yeah, I was sad that it was all for something so stupid as to build up a feud no one really cares about anyway or is going to. Just it was just depressing.
Yes.
And I yeah.
Which leads us to SmackDown.
Where they led the show off with it.
Yeah, they recapped it, and by the way, the way that they recapped it and the shots that they used from Tuesday made it even more obvious. This was all completely, totally planned.
Oh, yeah.
Every shot either had Eddie's name or Ray screaming for Eddie or something of that nature. So don't be mistaken thinking that, it just happened this was planned.
It was deliberate.
Absolutely planned. And if it wasn't, they made sure to plan it that way after everyone got upset, because that's what the video package was. So, and it had been taped hours after immediately after. Yeah. So the set was still broken, even though it was supposed to be 3 days later. They did not fix the set. So we were reminded throughout the evening of this, and it opened up with Randy Orton coming out to cut a promo, which Vince is going to recap.
I am? He said nothing. He said nothing for 5 minminutes.
He wants a title shot,
he
is
demanded,
something.
He demanded
the entire
a title
show
shot.
was built around it.
Well, no, the show was built around the show was built up to his match with Taker. But,
well, yeah.
But
yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, he said he wanted a shot with Big Dave, and he was demanding a shot at Armageddon. That's really it. He took 5 minutes to do this. Cowboy Bob was out there for a hood ornament or something, just out there to be Cowboy Bob. He didn't say anything, unfortunately.
Yeah. Then we had the Tag Team Battle Royal with Nunzio and Vito, LOD 3000, Scotty 2 Hottie and Funaki, Brian Kendrick and Paul London, the Dicks, and the Mexi Cools.
The Tag Team Battle Royal with LOD 3000 and 10 midgets. Just Heidenreich looked like Gulliver among the Lilliputians walking around out there. It came down to the Dicks and the Mexicools, and perhaps you will think that the Dicks are new and fresh, and so they won't be buried yet. Oh no, they lost. They lost when Psychosis eliminated both of them at the same time.
At least they made it to the second to last. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Jesus, I knocked my headphones off.
Brian never sneezes once. It's odd to me. He always sneezes 4 to 5 times.
I was in silent reading in 6th grade and did 12 in a row, which is my lifetime record. And I will never forget that. But,
yeah. Feeling all right now?
Jesus. Yeah.
Super Crazy is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew that, but we're just reminded of every once in a while.
And the winners get a title shot at the next pay-per-view, which is Armageddon, which is coming up in like 2 weeks or something ridiculous.
And Psychosis was virtually hysterical. I think he collapsed in tears when they won. He was pointing out the Eddie armband to everyone, which I don't think he was supposed to do because the cameras kept cutting away from him when he did it.
That's nice.
Yeah, very depressing. And Eminem was trying to, point at them and shout like they do. So, So, yeah, Eminem and Mexicools at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Then we had the... Where's my notes here? Then we had... What the hell did we have? Oh, yeah. We had Chris Benoit and William Regal. And I've got to say this. In the just fog of hatred... I hate this show. Mm-hmm. I hate SmackDown. I hate the company really lately.
Really, yeah.
But there are a few things that are beacons of light. Chris Benoit and Booker T and William Regal and Sharmell
and Taz
and the Boogeyman.
And for this segment, in a weird way, Michael Cole.
No, fuck Michael Cole.
Because Michael Cole is there to be made fun of.
No. Pardon me while I itch. This bastard, yes, the whole idea, he was there and people were making fun of him. But Michael Cole annoyed me to no end as he was sitting there trying to explain to Booker T how to do commentary.
Yes.
And I thought, you asshole. He actually at one point raised his voice and was like, Booker. And I thought, Booker, you know what? Beat the fuck out of him.
Axe kick him.
What are they going to fire you and keep Michael Cole on? Hell
yes.
No. Just beat the hell out of this geek. He was...
Well, yeah, because Booker T was out there doing commentary.
I have specific incidents here.
And Booker T was phenomenal, folks.
Yes.
He was on fire.
Yeah, I will say that, if it came down to firing Michael Cole and hiring Booker T for commentary, I'd snap my fingers in a heartbeat if I had the power to do it. Just axe this geek. He was such a geek this evening. And I don't know. But anyway, they had an awesome match in the ring.
I was going to say the usual awesome match, but it was very different. Because I didn't see his match with Benoit's match with Booker T from the Tuesday show, but apparently he got knocked batty. And he looked significantly out of it for a long time here. And then just when I thought he
was knocked batty on Tuesday, and they brought him out an hour later to keep working. That injury on the Tuesday show, which I actually didn't get a chance to see because I missed the first 22 minutes. Unfortunately, the first and not the last 22 minutes I missed. But apparently he did a dive and
God,
looked wacky afterwards, and he'd been knocked wacky, so that's the reason for that. And then he worked again here, so a true machine.
Kind of.
Well, he's a machine.
Well, he's definitely a machine, but he did come out of his funk at one point to hit the loudest chop maybe ever. They showed a replay of this chop.
They showed a replay of 2 chops.
Well, okay, one was just the loudest chop ever, and then later at another point in his comeback, he was beating Regal up in the corner, and Regal leaned forward, and Benoit reared back and chopped him as hard as he could right in the forehead.
This was planned.
Oh, yes.
Because this was not like Regal leaned forward at the wrong time.
No, this is not botched. His aim wasn't off. Regal didn't flinch.
They both were busted open hard way, bleeding all over.
They did the usual, I'll headbutt you until one of us bleeds spot.
The real pinnacle of Michael Cole's asshole-ishness,
Yeah.
Atrocity. Just trying to figure out what I would add to the end of asshole. But anyway, Booker T's doing commentary, and Regal is pounding on Benoit's face. And Booker's like, he's trying to break his nose. And Cole's like, why would he be trying to break his nose?
Yes.
And I'm like, well, so he can't fucking breathe.
Yes.
Hello?
To hurt him.
It made me so angry. It was like such a stupid fucking question.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Cole, I realize that you don't normally, in the story of a match, see one guy trying to break another guy's nose. And I know you've never been, trained to react to such a situation, but such a situation in a real fight wouldn't be the worst strategy.
It'd be a fine idea.
It'd be a fine idea, and you're so retarded. you're so stuck in this mold of I've got to say what the company wants me to say.
I have to counteract everything the heel says.
You're a fool to tap out. You're a loser. All this other bullshit. That was the peak. Why would he be trying to break his nose? So that really pissed me off. But they had a fabulous, fabulous match.
Yeah,
and then
yes.
Afterwards, Benoit delivered a series of suplexes, including a dragon suplex, and put him in the crossface. Regal immediately tapped out. Thank God Cole didn't say something like, "Why did he tap out so fast? What a fool." So Benoit dove over the table onto Booker T, and they brawled in the aisle. He put him in the crossface or on the pretty black mats, and Sharmell went and started beating on Benoit, and Benoit did not move. He did not flinch. He did not react. He did not notice this woman pounding on him, and it was beautiful.
Yes.
And she finally got a chair, and he scared her away, and it was just beautiful pro wrestling.
Yay.
So, yeah, that was that. And then we had Orton Jr. and Sr. having a meet. Oh, throughout the show, the ghost of The Undertaker was causing things to go awry. This whole show was built around death. You don't even know how many times Orton said, "I killed The Undertaker. He's dead."
Yes.
Over and over and over and over. It was Vince McMahon saying, "We're making fun of Eddie. We're maybe making fun's not the right word.
Exploiting.
We're exploiting Eddie. We're exploiting Eddie. We're exploiting Eddie." Over and over and over again. In case you didn't know, in case you had any doubt whatsoever, this was just hammered repeatedly in your head throughout the night. We're exploiting Eddie. We're exploiting Eddie. Hey, dipshit. We're exploiting Eddie. Get your head out of your ass. We're exploiting Eddie all night long. Bunkers!
Yes.
Sorry. Where were we?
Poder.
So anyway, then we had Matt and Orton. Go ahead.
There's nothing to say about this. It was a match. It was 4 or 5 minutes. Nothing great. Nothing horrible. Randy won clean with the RKO.
And then...
Oh, is that when the lights went out?
Yes.
Oh, God, this segment. Oh, Christ. I forgot about this.
It got worse.
Oh, it got significantly worse. Undertaker's dong sounded.
Dude, thank God only 18 people are involved in the Secret Santa thing. If there had been like 300, I'd have just said, fuck it.
This. Yes.
You're all on your own, but
yeah.
We've got 18, so go on.
Okay, yeah. So Undertaker's dong sounded and the lights went out, so the Ortons tried to flee, but a lightning bolt cut them off from hitting up the ramp. So they ran back to the ring. Cowboy Bob hid under the ring, which was... I was hoping the camera would follow and we could see Cowboy Bob's reaction to everything that followed. But Undertaker's spooky voice was playing over the PA system, and somehow Randy couldn't figure out where it was coming from, because he's an idiot, I guess. And for the next 7, 8, 9 minutes, Randy was running around the arena as Undertaker's voice was mocking him, and every time he tried to escape, there was something there to block his exit. There was a casket at the end of one hallway. Something blew up somewhere else as he was running around the fans. It just and Randy was supposed to be terrified and petrified and couldn't understand how this dead man was haunting him. Meanwhile, everyone in the arena was laughing.
And finally, the dead man spoke and reminded Orton that he thought he'd killed him. But the Undertaker cannot die.
Actually, the Undertaker's exact words were, "I do the killing."
Yes.
Yes. So finally, after all this, I mean, in regular circumstances, it would have been really bad TV. In current circumstances, it's just disgusting and nauseating. And finally, Undertaker announced apparently he can now book matches too, and they're going to do Hell in a Cell with him and Randy at the
Yeehaw!
At the pay-per-view.
You weren't listening to, I don't think you've heard today's Figure 4 Daily, but Derek Bergen was on, and he made the comment that he's watching wrestling, and occasionally his girlfriend and her friends will be in the room, and they, I guess, saw Tuesday or whatever, and they don't believe Eddie Guerrero has died.
Yes. Perfect. Wonderful. That's wonderful.
And I thought, well, you know, who can blame them?
No.
And the point was that wrestling fans and your average normal human being are all appalled. Everyone's appalled.
Yeah.
Everyone can't even fathom that this could be. Normal people can't fathom it. Wrestling fans can't fathom it, but it is.
There's the 3 or 4 people at the head of this company who think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
No one else does.
Well, everyone will be happy to know that I've gotten all the names down finished.
Well, let's finish the shitty show.
I'm going to put him in the hat here, and then I can return to action and save the show from young Vincent here, who I'm sure is boring you all half to death with this.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, well, you do a hell of a job of it. So,
Gracias.
all right, where were we?
Don't know.
Hell in a Cell. Yep, they've announced that for the Armageddon show.
After the commercial, Randy was bitching and moaning to Teddy Long, and Teddy said there was nothing he could do.
And I should note that Orton added, "I killed him. I killed the Undertaker." And basically, Teddy Long's exact words were, "I ain't messing with him, living or dead." Again, we're exploiting Eddie Guerrero. We're exploiting Eddie Guerrero. They should have had a crawler. We're exploiting Eddie Guerrero, just in case anyone was stupid enough to still think, they're not. So then we had the Diva Search contestant, Crystal.
This is the best SmackDown ever. Crystal was back.
Oh, fuck Crystal.
Actually, she was really boring here, but she looked good.
She interviewed Simon Dean about the Boogeyman, and words cannot do justice to this segment because sometimes we'll stop and we'll rewind the segment and we'll pause it for a while and we'll look around and just try and examine the circumstances and go, what is happening here? And what was happening was Simon Dean was trying to explain why he was not afraid of the Boogeyman because he had on a table in front of him some protein shakes, some fitness videos, and what appeared to be a giant buffet tray or something like that with the lid on it. Which, of course, what did he have in there? Prime rib? Was that part of his dieting regimen?
A secret anti-Boogeyman pot roast.
So anyway, he opened up the thing, and the Boogeyman's head was there. His head was on a platter.
Wait, there's more.
Covered in worms.
There you go. I also loved how...
Which he was eating.
And Simon yanked the lid off the thing to reveal Boogeyman's head, and suddenly the room went red.
Yeah, the room...
That's a secret power, so you can make red lights appear anywhere.
This is one of those things in pro wrestling that's so goofy, and they don't make any effort to make it seem in any way legitimate.
Yeah.
And it just works, because it's such great entertainment.
This was a wacky lucha skit.
Oh, all of them are with the Boogeyman.
All of them are. This one more than the most.
Yeah.
Because Simon Dean was rendered... he couldn't do anything about the Boogeyman's head being on this table. He couldn't, for example, put the lid back on. No, that was too much. Nor could he, pick up a chair or something and start waffling this head. No, he had to watch it. He did his nursery rhyme. He ate some worms, and Simon Dean screamed and ran away.
Yeah.
And that was the end.
That led to the match where...
That led to, I guess you'd call it a match.
Simon Dean tried to avoid it. They played his music twice. He was finally dragged out by security, which included a bunch of geeks from Ohio Valley. Thrown into the ring. The Boogeyman scared him. The Boogeyman ate some worms. And I would like to know these were not fake worms. These worms were crawling around and writhing in his mouth as he was eating them.
He legit ate live worms.
Yeah, which didn't gross me out like it grossed Cole out. I was hoping Cole would vomit and have to go home and not come back. But...
I can imagine the Boogeyman doing anything to gross me out.
Yeah, so he beat him, and
They did one move.
And I would like
He grabbed him and did a reverse slam thing and pinned him, and that was that.
He did a reverse follow-away slam, and that was the end. And I would like to just say to anybody from WWE listening to this right now that this is what must be done.
Yes.
The Boogeyman needs to go back into the closet. He needs to do 4 months of wacky skits. He needs to have a squash match at WrestleMania. He needs to go back into the closet until SummerSlam. And lather, rinse, repeat.
Yes.
That's all you can do.
He should never do more than one move.
And more than one match every 4 months.
Yeah.
That is all you can do with the Boogeyman. If you want to fuck it up, then be my guest.
Oh, it will be fucked up royally. It will be fucked up beyond compare.
Yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead and do it. But I'm telling you right now that this is the only way that the Boogeyman is going to work.
Yeah.
And he probably shouldn't even do a skit every week. Every other week or every third week. Maybe 2 weeks in a row sometimes. But what can you do? You don't see fucking Frank A. Gotch writing a column every week, do you? You know how old that would get?
You just compared Frank A. Gotch to the Boogeyman.
Yeah. In a way, in some ways, they are similar.
They are both great.
They're both wacky.
They're both wacky.
And they both would not work if every single week you heard from them.
True.
Can you imagine reading Frank A. Gotch every week, much less me having to try and
channel him,
transcribe his column every week? It'd be ridiculous. You know what I mean?
For a second there, I thought you were going to take credit for writing his column.
No,
he'd be very angry.
I would. But actually, in all honesty, I've actually got to say something here. And it kind of plays into the Scientology talk we had the other day about aliens and shit like that. There have been times when I've been transcribing a Frank A. Gotch column when I haven't really thought about it. The whole damn thing's just come out on paper, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think, my God, Frank A. Gotch is actually speaking to me.
Yes.
I have felt that on many occasions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, you don't. No one does.
Then why'd you bring it up?
I just want people to know that for when they, someday, hundreds of years from now, when my autobiography is written, and, they're going over the story of my life, and some whack-a-maroo decides he needs to tell the true story of Frankie Gotch. I channeled the dead man. I just want you all to know that, as weird as that sounds. Yeah, I'll throw that in there. And it was fitting on this show when everybody else was channeling dead people. So
That's true.
Particularly Undertaker and Orton and such. But then we had Kane and the Big Show versus JBL and Ray. The only thing about this match that was any good whatsoever was when Show hit JBL with a headbutt, and Taz, I believe, called it a farm animal-sized head.
Yes.
And it was all downhill from there.
You know, wasn't this feud settled at Survivor Series? I don't even know. That fucking Tuesday goddamn special, it was so stupid. There was no reason for them to have a Tuesday show. There was no reason for Rey Mysterio from SmackDown to be wrestling a Big Show from Raw. And they capped off this pointless, stupid, worthless segment with the bullshit.
You're turning red, Vince. Relax.
Sorry.
You're going to have a heart attack or an aneurysm or something. Relax.
I was reminded. Sorry.
Breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
Go on.
They did their wacky little match. JBL was preaching earlier about how he was going to lead SmackDown to victory and defend his show, and then at one point he accidentally got bumped in the eye by the referee and retreated to the locker room, leaving Rey Mysterio 2-on-1 with Big Show and Kane, which if you want to make someone an underdog, that's a fine way to do it.
Was it me, or when I read the spoilers, did it say that it was Batista and Ray?
Possible. I have spoilers.
I'm actually going to go back and find them, because I remember reading that and I thought, why did Batista walk out on Ray?
You may have.
Well, he didn't, because we just watched the damn show.
No, you may have read it,
okay.
Asshole.
I'm back to look right now. Please don't use such language on the show.
I'm fucking sorry. Anyway. Yeah.
Shame on you.
They beat up Ray for a long time. He made his big wacky comeback, and everyone went crazy because it's a hobbit beating up two orcs. And then finally they cut him off and pinned him with a double choke slam, and went to beat him up more when Big Dave ran out. No tape, just looking like Big Dave always does, and he hit some spine busters and some spears and torn Latinol, just working like Big Dave and not showing it at all, which kind of frightens me.
All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
The only other thing of note was Ray did the springboard deal, and Big Show caught him in midair, meaning Ray was up in the air and Big Show grabbed him with one hand and was holding him above the earth.
Oh, there was...
And I thought, you're strong.
Oh, Big Show is he doesn't show how strong he is often.
Yes.
There was a point here where he hit a backbreaker, and he didn't press Ray over his head like most guys would do when they were strong. He lifted Ray and with his arms kind of half bent, just kind of horked him up and then dropped him down.
Yeah.
No effort at all whatsoever. I understand Ray is small, but he's adult male.
He's he's some sort of beast, but very, very strong. So anyway,
Flew
that was
by,
SmackDown.
Which is usually a good sign. Shows that last forever are usually very bad, but this show flew by and built to the main event tag match of Survivor Series pretty much throughout the entire show, and did a pretty good job of it.
All right, if you say so. It opened up with Sharmell coming out for the opener, which was Booker T and Chris Benoit for the U.S. title. A match that Taz said would be ginormous.
Did you really?
Yes, he did. So they came out to do the little wacky match, and Vince, what'd you think about it?
It was another good Benoit Booker T match. These two men are incapable of having a bad one. And went, 12 minutes or so. They did the double pin finish with a superplex off the top, and they each cradled each other, and they'd had a ref bump, so they had an emergency backup ref already in the ring, and each ref counted one guy's shoulders down, and so there's a disputed finish, and now Teddy Long has declared that the belt has been held up, and they're going to do Benoit and Booker best of 7 again.
I could have sworn they just did a best of 5 like last year. Perhaps they've forgotten that, or maybe I'm retarded, but could have sworn they did, but the best part was when it was over, they kept showing replays of the finish because it was a double pin. So, first off, you've never seen two men fight to be pinned like you saw in this little incident here. Both guys were fighting their damnedest to have both shoulders down, and Booker, of the two, since he is not, of course, Chris Benoit, he's the one that fucked up and his shoulder came up. And Taz, I guess, because he had to, he pointed it out. And Michael Cole, of course, had to act like he did not see the shoulder coming up. So Michael Cole is not only an idiot, but his character's an idiot. So now we can just... Yeah, so there we go. The new best of 7.
On the downside, it's been done to death, really. On the bright side, we get to watch them wrestle for 6 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, first match is at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Then they announced the live Tuesday night SmackDown. And for those of you on the board wondering why they're doing this and hoping I will have an answer, I don't. I don't know. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know if it's preempted. I do know that I tried to tape it tonight and my TiVo didn't record, so it's a good thing I had it on the right channel. But, yeah, I don't know.
What was the what's the details of the 9 p.m. or the Tuesday show? I don't even know what time it is.
Why don't you talk for a while, Vince, and I'll do some
research.
What
do you want to talk about?
Why don't you talk about the Dicks and LOD 3000?
The Dicks came out. They had wacky music and the suspenders gimmicks and they're squirting oil in each other, but they got to do their OVW entrance with the jump up in the apron. And outside of Eminem, who is just a watered down version of the OVW Eminem, these guys, compared to many other call-ups, got to be themselves more than. Well, the most obvious example is Eugene. I guess Rob Conway to a degree got to be Rob Conway, but Doug Basham and Damager were just neutered, and of course everyone else they've called up has just been a screw up. But it was not the disaster it could have been, bringing them up, putting them in suspenders, and calling them the Dicks. And then Animal and
I haven't listened to a word you've said, and for all I know, you've just been babbling incessantly about nothing in general. But I noticed, first off, you're gonna have to move. Your entire body is in the way here, but there's something wrong. All my scheduled recordings on TiVo have vanished, which is probably that would logically explain why SmackDown didn't record tonight, but that disturbs me. So I'm going to do some further investigation about next Friday. You can finish that rant if there's actually anything of value that you had to say, and if not, you can move on to Matt Hardy and Ken Kennedy.
LOD came out, and it was immediately obviously clear that, in case you do not know, Chad and James Dick are short men. They eventually got the pin on Animal with a foul and a double team pin behind the ref's back kind of thing, and it was okay. And at least they got to win for one match. Now they'll do the usual WWE trick of burying them incessantly for weeks on end. The next match was Matt Hardy and I forget Kennedy.
Ken Kennedy.
Yes, Kennedy. I don't know exactly what you'd expect. Not bad. What the hell was the finish? I don't remember.
This is why I put you on the spot. You want to do a... Oh, Jesus, Vince.
Maybe if you did your own show instead of playing with the TiVo.
I'm trying to answer a question for the people on the fucking board, Vince.
There's no other source to answer this question other than your TV guy?
No, it was a DQ. He grabbed a chair and they DQ'd him.
Oh, that's why I forgot, because it sucked so hard.
How do you want me to do this without looking at the actual on-screen guide on the TV?
Do you have internet access?
Do you really think the internet's going to be faster than the TV?
On WWE.com, it won't say, hey, Tuesday. Well, actually, you're right. It may not.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Kennedy was frustrated and whatnot and went to grab a chair and got caught with it, and they played tug-of-war with the ref for a bit, and then the ref got shoved with the chair, and he DQ'd young Mr. Kennedy, and that was the finish of the match, and fans booed, and Ken was angry, and that was it, and I don't know what this was supposed to accomplish.
Well, there's a Friday night SmackDown scheduled for, looks like next Friday. Will The Undertaker follow Randy Orton to SmackDown tonight is the preview. What the hell does that mean?
I'm already dreading the show.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Friday, 8 to 10. It doesn't say the date. Will The Undertaker follow Randy Orton to SmackDown tonight?
It does say TV PG as well. There will be no nudity on this show.
How do I know what day it is?
It says Friday. No, look. Okay, it's gone. It's gone now.
That's because it's Friday Night SmackDown.
Look. Okay,
I understand, but they wouldn't say Friday Night SmackDown if it were on Tuesday. I'm asking, how do I know if this is next Friday's show or this Friday's show that was on tonight?
Okay, that's a good question.
All right, thank you. That's why I asked, how do I know what day it is? Meaning the actual date, not Friday. So anyway, kids, according to my TiVo, that is next Friday. Look, no matches for tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So there is scheduled to be a SmackDown next Friday, and I have no explanation for why there's a bonus SmackDown on Tuesday. So, yeah, anyway, so far you're on a roll, Vince, so let's keep going. Melina and Christy Hemme.
These chicks beat the crap out of each other for a long time.
Yeah, they did.
That's not to say that it was good, but they tried hard.
I will say this was the way better than any right to be, and Christy Hemme has actually improved into a passable wrestler. She's actually getting to be a decent wrestler.
Yeah.
Which I thought was impossible, but she's getting pretty good. And, you know, it's not like Melina was carrying her to a great match because Melina, or as Taz would call her, Melina, isn't the best worker on the roster. She's all right, but this was not bad at all. So, yeah, good stuff. Then we had clips airing of Nunzio pinning Hoovy to win the title in Rome. And then we had the rematch, Nunzio and Hoovy for the title. Vince?
This is Nunzio losing the title to Hoovy in wherever they were in England. They did 800,000 spots, and all I could think of watching this was your interview with Disco, where he said working with Hoovy was always a pain in the ass because he wanted to do so much.
Yeah.
And they did. And, it was, I guess, an X Division special where they did just 800,000 things and everything looked good, but I don't remember any of them except the Hoovy driver at the end.
Yeah. So anyway, this match, all I could think was before the match they showed clips of the Rome title change. And they said this proves that at a SmackDown brand event anything can happen. And then they showed the match and he lost the belt back. And I thought, is it really that important that Juventud Guerrera is the Cruiserweight champion? Is it of such monumental importance that they couldn't leave the belt on Nunzio for 2 weeks?
You're asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Well, no. The answer is no. It's not that important.
The answer is no. And all this did was just send a big middle finger to Rome. It did. It told Rome, you know what? Yes, you guys love Nunzio, so we're going to make him the champion in your town or your country or your province, whatever the hell Rome is these days.
Empire.
We're going to give him the title there, and then we don't give a shit about you. So as soon as we get back, as soon as we get out of Rome, we're not going to wait to get back to America.
No.
As soon as we get the hell out of Rome, away from the Pope,
we're going to take the belt away from your guy.
We're going to take the belt away from your guy, and you're never going to see him again.
Yeah.
So fuck off. That's what they basically said here. And it was so stupid. Why? Why do we need the belt on Hoovy?
We don't. No one does. Not even Hoovy does.
Just stupid. Then we had Ray and JBL versus Paul Burchill and William Regal. Vinny?
I was kind of hoping that the fans would totally just be insane for their fellow Englishmen, but unfortunately they were not to the degree that I was expecting. Carlito and Chris Masters were out there, and Shawn Michaels got involved, and it ended up being a big just mess with various other SmackDown guys running out to make the save after Shawn kicked JBL. That's pretty much it.
They had the Raw guys out in the front row, the highlight of which was when security all ran out to kick Carlito and Chris Masters out, and they responded by holding up ticket stubs. And somehow you hold up a ticket stub and you cannot get kicked out, even though the ticket stub itself says, you can be kicked out for any reason at any time. That apparently does not hold up if you're a WWE superstar. So they stayed there.
Maybe they have different rules in Europe.
Yeah. They, or it was just bad writing. Then they had Paul Burchill and William Regal, who it was a very big risk putting them in the ring as heels in England. And especially when one of the men on the other team that was supposed to be a babyface was the hated JBL. So somehow, I don't know if it was crowd swinging or if this actually worked, but they booed Paul Burchill and William Regal, on TV at least, and rated all this stuff, blah, 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 went to make the big comeback, and then, Shawn Michaels hit the ring because the security was so stupid that they had about 16 guys watching two men in the front row, so Shawn was easily able to slip in out of the crowd. And after he slid into the ring, they were so stupid that all 16 guys chased him to the back, leaving, yes, the two men they were supposed to be keeping out of the ring alone. And, of course, they immediately hit the ring. So, an absolutely absurd crew in storyline. And probably in real life as well. But, that was something else. Then we had Blaster Lashley and Orlando Jordan. Total squash match. Really nothing to say about it, except love Blaster Lashley while you can. That's all I got to say. Yeah. Big Dave and Randy Orton for the world title in a street fight. Teddy Long called all these SmackDown guys and told them to surround the ring so that nobody would run in. So this was the first ever lumberjack street fight. And then it was not only a lumberjack street fight, but within 10 seconds, they were doing a collar and elbow tie-up in the street fight. And then within 10 seconds of that, the street fight, the lumberjack street fight, went to a no contest when a number of men hit the ring. So this was, without doubt, the worst street fight I've ever seen in my whole life. Vince?
I'm pretty sure ICW did some street fights and ended in countouts and stuff. But yeah, there was nothing to this. A battle royal broke out within minutes. When the entire Raw crew apparently ran out, I saw Tom going Viscera and other guys no one could possibly want to see. And it ended with pretty much every guy in the tag match hitting their finisher on someone in the ring. And then finally, Kane and Big Show put Batista. I'm going to sneeze shortly, I think. Now it's gone. Phew, that was a close one. Kane and... look at you. Kane and Show put Big Dave through the table with a double choke slam, and that's how the show ended.
Yeah, 16 SmackDown guys down there, and nobody thought enough to go help the guy with the torn lat. Yeah. That was very nice. So, yep, torn lat, put through the table. And as far as I know, Big Dave is not going anywhere. Big Dave decided he was going to gut it out.
With a torn lat.
Yeah, so that's why the title didn't change hands here. There are no plans in the immediate future to take the belt off him. So
that's terrifying.
Big Dave is back. And,
okay.
Yes?
Think about this. Big Dave was not the world's greatest wrestler when he was healthy. Now his back is torn up.
Yeah, but that's good.
I see.
Now he's got a reason for sucking. He's handicapped.
Well, maybe he'll sell better when he's in actual pain.
Yeah, so. Which leads us to SmackDown.
Where they led the show off with it.
Yeah, they recapped it, which... And by the way, the way that they recapped it and the shots that they used from Tuesday made it even more obvious. This was all completely, totally planned.
Oh, yeah.
Every shot either had Eddie's name or Ray screaming for Eddie or something of that nature. So don't be mistaken thinking that, it just happened this was planned.
It was deliberate.
Absolutely planned. And if it wasn't, they made sure to plan it that way after everyone got upset because that's what the video package was. So, and it had been taped hours after immediately after. Yeah. So the set was still broken, even though it was supposed to be 3 days later. They did not fix the set. So we were reminded throughout the evening of this, and it opened up with Randy Orton coming out to cut a promo, which Vince is going to recap.
I am? He said nothing. He said nothing for 5 minminutes.
He wants a title shot,
he
demanded
something. He demanded
the entire
a
show
shot.
was built around it.
Well, no, the show was built around the show was built up to his match with Taker.
Well, yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, he said he wanted a shot with Big Dave, and he was demanding a shot at Armageddon. That's really it. He took 5 minutes to do this. Cowboy Bob was out there for a hood ornament or something, just out there to be Cowboy Bob. He didn't say anything, unfortunately.
Yeah. Then we had the Tag Team Battle Royal with Nunzio and Vito, LOD 3000, Scotty 2 Hottie and Funaki, Brian Kendrick and Paul London, the Dicks, and the Mexi Cools.
The Tag Team Battle Royal with LOD 3000 and 10 midgets. Just Heidenreich looked like Gulliver among the Lilliputians walking around out there. It came down to the Dicks and the Mexicools, and perhaps you will think that the Dicks are new and fresh, and so they won't be buried yet. Oh no, they lost. They lost when Psychosis eliminated both of them at the same time.
At least they made it to the second to last. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Jesus, I knocked my headphones off.
Brian never sneezes once. It's odd to me. He always sneezes 4 to 5 times.
I was in silent reading in 6th grade and did 12 in a row, which is my lifetime record. And I will never forget that. But
yeah. Feeling all right now?
Jesus. Yeah.
Super Crazy is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew that, but we're just reminded of every once in a while.
And the winners get a title shot at the next pay-per-view, which is Armageddon, which is coming up in like 2 weeks or something ridiculous.
And Psychosis was virtually hysterical. I think he collapsed in tears when they won. He was pointing out the Eddie armband to everyone, which I don't think he was supposed to do because the cameras kept cutting away from him when he did it.
That's nice.
Yeah, very depressing. And Eminem was trying to, point at them and shout like they do. So, So yeah, Eminem and Mexicools at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Then we had where's my notes here? Then we had, what the hell did we have? Oh, yeah. We had Chris Benoit and William Regal.
And I've got to say this, in the just fog of hatred, I hate this show. Mm-hmm. I hate SmackDown. I hate the company really lately.
Really, yeah.
But there are a few things that are beacons of light. Chris Benoit and Booker T and William Regal and Sharmell
and Taz
and the Boogeyman.
And for this segment, in a weird way, Michael Cole.
No, fuck Michael Cole.
Because Michael Cole is there to be made fun of.
No. Pardon me while I itch. This bastard, yes, the whole idea, he was there and people were making fun of him. But Michael Cole annoyed me to no end as he was sitting there trying to explain to Booker T how to do commentary.
Yes.
And I thought, you asshole. He actually at one point raised his voice and was like, Booker. And I thought, Booker, you know what? Beat the fuck out of him.
Axe kick him.
What are they going to fire you and keep Michael Cole on? Hell
yes.
No. Just beat the hell out of this geek. He was...
Well, yeah, because Booker T was out there doing commentary.
Specific incidents here.
And Booker T was phenomenal, folks.
Yes.
He was on fire.
Yeah, I will say that, if it came down to firing Michael Cole and hiring Booker T for commentary, I'd snap my fingers in a heartbeat if I had the power to do it. Just axe this geek. He was such a geek this evening. And I don't know. But anyway, they had an awesome match in the ring.
I was going to say the usual awesome match, but it was very different. Because I didn't see his match with Benoit's match with Booker T from the Tuesday show, but apparently he got knocked batty. And he looked significantly out of it for a long time here. And then just when I thought he
was knocked batty on Tuesday, and they brought him out an hour later to keep working. That injury on the Tuesday show, which I actually didn't get a chance to see because I missed the first 22 minutes. Unfortunately, the first and not the last 22 minutes I missed. But apparently he did dive and
oh, God,
looked wacky afterwards, and he'd been knocked wacky, so that's the reason for that. And then he worked again here, so a true machine.
Kind of.
Well, he's a machine.
Well, he's definitely a machine, but he did come out of his funk at one point to hit the loudest chop maybe ever. They showed a replay of this chop.
They showed a replay of two chops.
Well, okay, one was just the loudest chop ever, and then later at another point in his comeback, he was beating Regal up in the corner, and Regal leaned forward, and Benoit reared back and chopped him as hard as he could right in the forehead.
This was planned.
Oh, yes.
Because this was not like Regal leaned forward at the wrong time.
No, this is not botched. His aim wasn't off. Regal didn't flinch.
They both were busted open hard way, bleeding all over.
They did the usual, I'll headbutt you until one of us bleeds spot.
The real pinnacle of Michael Cole's asshole-ishness,
Yeah.
Atrocity. Just trying to figure out what I would add to the end of asshole. But anyway, Booker T's doing commentary, and Regal is pounding on Benoit's face. And Booker's like, he's trying to break his nose. And Cole's like, why would he be trying to break his nose?
Yes.
And I'm like, well, so he can't fucking breathe.
Yes.
Hello?
To hurt him.
It made me so angry. It was like such a stupid fucking question.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Cole, I realize that you don't normally, in the story of a match, see one guy trying to break another guy's nose. And I know you've never been, trained to react to such a situation, but such a situation in a real fight wouldn't be the worst strategy.
That'd be a fine idea.
It'd be a fine idea, and you're so retarded. You're so stuck in this mold of, I've got to say what the company wants me to say.
I have to counteract everything the heel says.
You're a fool to tap out. You're a loser. All this other bullshit. That was the peak. Why would he be trying to break his nose? So that really pissed me off. But they had a fabulous, fabulous match.
Yeah,
and then
yes.
Afterwards, Benoit delivered a series of suplexes, including a dragon suplex, and put him in the crossface. Regal immediately tapped out. Thank God Cole didn't say something like, why did he tap out so fast? What a fool. So Benoit dove over the table onto Booker T, and they brawled in the aisle. He put him in the crossface or on the pretty black mats, and Sharmell went and started beating on Benoit, and Benoit did not move. He did not flinch. He did not react. He did not notice this woman pounding on him, and it was beautiful.
Yes.
And she finally got a chair, and he scared her away, and it was just beautiful pro wrestling.
Yay.
So, yeah, that was that. And then we had Orton Jr. and Sr. having a meet. Oh, throughout the show, the ghost of The Undertaker was causing things to go awry. This whole show was built around death.
You don't even know how many times Orton said, "I killed The Undertaker. He's dead."
Yes.
Over and over and over and over. It was Vince McMahon saying, "We're making fun of Eddie. We're maybe making fun's not the right word.
Exploiting.
We're exploiting Eddie. We're exploiting Eddie. We're exploiting Eddie." Over and over and over again. In case you didn't know, in case you had any doubt whatsoever, this was just hammered repeatedly in your head throughout the night. We're exploiting Eddie. We're exploiting Eddie. Hey, dipshit. We're exploiting Eddie. Get your head out of your ass. We're exploiting Eddie all night long. Bunkers!
Yes.
Sorry. Where were we?
Poder.
So anyway, then we had Matt and Orton. Go ahead.
There's nothing to say about this. It was a match. It was 4 or 5 minutes. Nothing great. Nothing horrible. Randy won clean with the RKO.
And then...
Oh, is that when the lights went out?
Yes.
Oh, God, this segment. Oh, Christ. I forgot about this.
It got worse.
Oh, it got significantly worse. Undertaker's dong sounded.
Dude, thank God only 18 people are involved in the Secret Santa thing. If there'd been like 300, I'd have just said, fuck it.
This. Yes.
You're all on your own, but
Yeah.
we've got 18, so go on.
Okay, yeah. So, Undertaker's dong sounded, and the lights went out, so the Ortons tried to flee, but a lightning bolt cut them off from hitting up the ramp. So they ran back to the ring. Cowboy Bob hid under the ring, which was... I was hoping the camera would follow and we could see Cowboy Bob's reaction to everything that followed. But Undertaker's spooky voice was playing over the PA system, and somehow Randy couldn't figure out where it was coming from. Because he's an idiot, I guess. And for the next, 7, 8, 9 minutes, Randy was running around the arena as Undertaker's voice was mocking him, and every time he tried to escape, there was something there to block his exit. There was a casket at the end of one hallway. Something blew up somewhere else as he was running around the fans. It just and Randy was supposed to be terrified and petrified and couldn't understand how this dead man was haunting him. Meanwhile, everyone in the arena was laughing.
And finally, the dead man spoke and reminded Orton that he thought he'd killed him. But The Undertaker cannot die.
Actually, The Undertaker's exact words were, "I do the killing."
Yes.
Yes. So, finally, after all this, I mean, in regular circumstances, it would have been really bad TV. In current circumstances, it's just disgusting and nauseating. And finally, Undertaker announced, apparently he can now book matches too, and they're going to do Hell in a Cell with him and Randy at the
Yeehaw.
At the pay-per-view.
You weren't listening to, I don't think you've heard today's Figure 4 Daily, but Derek Bergen was on, and he made the comment that he's watching wrestling, and occasionally his girlfriend and her friends will be in the room, and they, I guess, saw Tuesday or whatever, and they don't believe Eddie Guerrero has died.
Yes. Perfect. Wonderful. That's wonderful.
And I thought, well, who can blame them?
No.
And the point was that wrestling fans and your average normal human being are all appalled. Everyone's appalled.
Yeah.
Everyone can't even fathom that this could be. Normal people can't fathom it. Wrestling fans can't fathom it, but it is.
There's the 3 or 4 people at the head of this company who think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
No one else does.
Well, everyone will be happy to know that I've gotten all the names down finished.
Well, let's finish the shitty show.
I'm going to put them in the hat here, and then I can return to action and save the show from young Vincent here, who I'm sure is boring you all half to death with this.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, well, you do a hell of a job of it, so.
Gracias.
All right, where were we?
Don't know.
Hell in a Cell, yep, they've announced that for the Armageddon show.
After the commercial, Randy was bitching and moaning to Teddy Long, and Teddy said there was nothing he could do.
And I should note that Orton added, "I killed him. I killed The Undertaker." And basically, Teddy Long's exact words were, "I ain't messing with him living or dead." Again, we're exploiting Eddie Guerrero. We're exploiting Eddie Guerrero. They should have had a crawler. We're exploiting Eddie Guerrero, just in case anyone was stupid enough to still think, they're not. So then we had the Diva Search contestant, Crystal.
This is the best SmackDown ever. Crystal was back.
Oh, fuck Crystal.
Actually, she was really boring here, but she looked good.
She interviewed Simon Dean about the Boogeyman, and the words cannot do justice to this segment because sometimes we'll stop and we'll rewind the segment and we'll pause it for a while and we'll look around and just try and examine the circumstances and go, what is happening here? And what was happening was Simon Dean was trying to explain why he was not afraid of the Boogeyman because he had on a table in front of him some protein shakes, some fitness videos, and what appeared to be a giant
Buffet-ish?
buffet tray or something like that with the lid on it. Which, of course, what did he have in there? Prime rib? Was that part of his dieting regimen?
Secret anti-boogeyman pot roast.
So anyway, he opened up the thing, and the boogeyman's head was there. His head was on a platter.
Wait, there's more.
Covered in worms.
There you go. I also loved how...
Which he was eating.
Which he was eating. And Simon yanked the lid off the thing to reveal Boogeyman's head, and suddenly the room went red.
Yeah, the room
That's a secret power, so you can make red lights appear anywhere.
This is one of those things in pro wrestling that's so goofy, and they don't make any effort to make it seem in any way legitimate.
Yeah.
And it just works, because it's such great entertainment.
This was a wacky lucha skit.
Oh, all of them are with the Boogeyman.
All of them are. This one more than the most.
Yeah.
Because Simon Dean was rendered... he couldn't do anything about the Boogeyman's head being on this table. He couldn't, for example, put the lid back on. No, that was too much. Nor could he, pick up a chair or something and start waffling this head. No, he had to watch it. He did his nursery rhyme. He ate some worms, and Simon Dean screamed and ran away.
Yeah.
That was the end.
That led to the match where...
That led to, I guess you'd call it a match.
Simon Dean tried to avoid it. They played his music twice. He was finally dragged out by security, which included a bunch of geeks from Ohio Valley. Thrown into the ring. The Boogeyman scared him. The Boogeyman ate some worms. And I would like to know these were not fake worms. These worms were crawling around and writhing in his mouth as he was eating them.
He legit ate live worms.
Yeah, which didn't gross me out like it grossed Cole out. I was hoping Cole would vomit and have to go home and not come back.
I can imagine the Boogeyman doing anything to gross me out.
Yeah, so he beat him, and
They did one move.
And I would like
He
to...
grabbed him and did a reverse slam thing and pinned him, and that was that.
He did a reverse follow-away slam, and that was the end. And I would like to just say to anybody from WWE listening to this right now that this is what must be done.
Yes.
The Boogeyman needs to go back into the closet. He needs to do 4 months of wacky skits. He needs to have a squash match at WrestleMania. He needs to go back into the closet until SummerSlam. And lather, rinse, repeat.
Yes.
That's all you can do.
He should never do more than one move.
And more than one match every 4 months.
Yeah.
That is all you can do with the Boogeyman. If you want to fuck it up, then be my guest.
Oh, it will be fucked up royally. It will be fucked up beyond compare.
Yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead and do it. But I'm telling you right now that this is the only way that the Boogeyman is going to work.
Yeah.
And he probably shouldn't even do a skit every week. Every other week or every third week. Maybe 2 weeks in a row sometimes. But what can you do? You don't see fucking Frank A. Gotch writing a column every week, do you? You know how old that would get?
You just compared Frank A. Gotch to the Boogeyman.
Yeah. In a way, in some ways, they are similar.
They are both great.
They're both wacky.
They're both wacky.
And they both would not work if every single week you heard from them.
True.
Can you imagine reading Frank A. Gotch every week, much less me having to try and
Channel him.
transcribe his column every week? It'd be ridiculous. You know what I mean?
For a second there, I thought you were going to take credit for writing his column.
No,
He'd
bullshit.
be very angry.
I would. But actually, in all honesty, I've actually got to say something here. And it kind of plays into the Scientology talk we had the other day about aliens and shit like that. There have been times when I've been transcribing a Frank A. Gotch column when I haven't really thought about it. The whole damn thing's just come out on paper, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think, my God, Frank A. Gotch is actually speaking to me.
Yes.
I have felt that on many occasions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, you don't. No one does.
Then why'd you bring it up?
I just want people to know that for when they someday, hundreds of years from now, when my autobiography is written, and they're going over the story of my life, and some whack-a-maroo decides he need to tell the true story of Frank A. Gotch. I channeled the dead man. I just want you all to know that, as weird as that sounds. Yeah, I'll throw that in there. And it was fitting on this show when everybody else was channeling dead people. So
that's true.
Particularly Undertaker and Orton and such. But then we had Kane and the Big Show versus JBL and Ray. The only thing about this match that was any good whatsoever was when Show hit JBL with a headbutt, and Taz, I believe, called it a farm animal-sized head.
Yes.
And it was all downhill from there.
Wasn't this feud settled at Survivor Series? I don't even know. That fucking Tuesday goddamn special, it was so stupid. There was no reason for them to have a Tuesday show. There was no reason for Rey Mysterio from SmackDown to be wrestling a Big Show from Raw. And they capped off this pointless, stupid, worthless segment with the bullshit.
You're turning red, Vince. Relax.
Sorry.
You're going to have a heart attack or an aneurysm or something. Relax.
I was reminded. Sorry.
Breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
Go on.
They did their wacky little match. JBL was preaching earlier about how he was going to lead SmackDown to victory and defend his show, and then At one point, he accidentally got bumped in the eye by the referee and retreated to the locker room, leaving Rey Mysterio 2-on-1 with Big Show and Kane, which if you want to make someone an underdog, that's a fine way to do it.
Was it me, or when I read the spoilers, did it say that it was Batista and Rey?
Possible. I have spoilers.
I'm actually going to go back and find them, because I remember reading that and I thought, why did Batista walk out on Rey?
You may have.
Well, he didn't, because we just watched the damn show.
No, you may have read it,
oh, okay.
asshole.
I'm back to look right now. Please don't use such language on the show.
I'm fucking sorry. Anyway. Yeah.
Shame on you.
They beat up Rey for a long time. He made his big wacky comeback, and everyone went crazy because it's a hobbit beating up two orcs. And then finally they cut him off and pinned him with a double choke slam and went to beat him up more when Big Dave ran out. No tape. Just looking like Big Dave always does, and he hit some spine busters and some spears and torn Latinol, just working like Big Dave and not showing it at all, which kind of frightens me.
All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
The only other thing of note was Rey did the springboard deal, and Big Show caught him in midair, meaning Rey was up in the air and Big Show grabbed him with one hand and was holding him above the earth.
Oh, there was.
And I thought, you're strong.
Oh, Big Show is he doesn't show how strong he is often.
Yes.
There was a point here where he hit a backbreaker and he didn't press Rey over his head like most guys would do when they were strong. He lifted Rey and with his arms kind of half bent, just kind of horked him up and then dropped him down.
Yeah.
No effort at all whatsoever. I understand Rey is small, but he's a adult male.
He's he's some sort of beast, but very, very strong. So anyway, that was SmackDown. So then we had the SmackDown show, which was just a boring, boring show. And I don't know. Start, Vince. Was there anything of value?
That was a good tag match.
I'd completely forgotten about it until you reminded me.
It was.
But
there.
it was good in hindsight.
Yeah. But no, the build for Armageddon is just garbage. Is that a good word?
No, it's not, actually.
Well, at least we know what the main event is.
The build for Armageddon, actually, it's horrible television, but it's selling pay-per-views.
I see.
I just know this, and it pains me to say this, but I know people are going to buy this pay-per-view to see Randy Orton, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell. I just know this. We've had to put up with some real awful acting to get to this point, and Randy Orton better not be on the short list of guys getting films or they're fucked. I've got to say that. Bob Orton I would go for, because
even he tonight was...
He was awful. But he was so awful it was great.
But he was awful, and he was being Cowboy Bob, so it was fun.
Yes. If there was a movie called... If they actually made a movie with Cowboy Bob and Hoovy on the road together...
Wow! What a combo that was.
No, they have been... They ride around together. They drive around together.
Juventud Guerrera and Ace Cowboy Bob Orton Jr.
Yes.
I was not aware.
Yes, because Hoovy has a lot of heat to the point where the Mexicals don't want to travel with him.
Wow.
So it's Juventud Guerrera on the road with Cowboy Bob.
Who will travel with anyone, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Who else is Bob going to travel with? I suppose you could say his son.
I had not heard of this development before.
Oh, yes.
They kicked out their own countrymen.
Yes.
For fear of being associated with them.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I would, if that were turned into a buddy film...
I can think of no greater project than Hoovy and Bob traveling America.
Because
stopping at gas stations.
Well, Dave's idea was a reality show, but I think they should actually try and do a theatrical film.
Either way.
Because if you gave these two men a script and had them do lines and do this film...
What an odd choice of words you just used.
It would be the worst film of all time. And in that sense, I think that it would make a little bit of money.
It would be so great.
So
the project cannot fail in either sense.
No. So the opener was Boogeyman and Nunzio, and the best part of this match, it's all the same now.
Yeah.
I still love seeing Boogeyman come out, and I do love hearing Tony Chimmel in a completely monotone voice announce that he is from the Bottomless Pit.
My new favorite hometown.
Like he would announce that he's from Seattle. Just the same
from
exact...
the Bottomless Pit.
That's right.
The Boogeyman.
And Michael Cole described it as a train wreck, which is an exceedingly rare, true statement on his part. He actually had two lines tonight, the other of which we'll get into soon. But it was Michael Cole's night. Yeah. Perhaps his only good night in his entire employment history. Boogeyman ate some worms, made Nunzio eat some worms, and that was it.
It's the Boogeyman. It's every Boogeyman match you've ever seen and probably will ever see.
Yeah, but they did set up another match in a very subtle manner. Everybody was appalled watching backstage, in particular Sylvain Grenier. So he is next to eat worms.
Sylvain is the worst actor in the company.
Yes.
And I realized Tori Wilson is still employed.
Yes.
This was so bad.
They need to do a skit together, in fact, the two of them.
Really, they would be a perfect pair.
Yeah, a perfect couple.
Yeah.
Orton had a meeting backstage, actually wrote The Orton, which I can't even believe that's even a Freudian typo. It should be The Ortons. Bob told Randy he needed to see a shrink. And he explained that, in fact, this was the #1 sports psychologist in the country that had gone all the way out there to see Randy. And by golly, Randy needed to see this man. And so Randy did. And it was time for a shitty skit, which was Randy on a couch explaining that The Undertaker was everywhere, no matter where he was, in the car, in the mirror. I can't shake him, Doc. He's driving me insane. And, you know, as a person who's done a little bit of acting, very low-budget films, meaning no money was spent on anything, including food, I will say that sometimes you'll see a guy who looks like he's a real bad actor, and it's really just because he's given some awful material. And part of the problem here is Randy is given these lines. I don't know if they're supposed to be campy, but some of these fucking lines that this poor bastard has got to say are so bad, and that's one of them.
I can feel your presence, man.
Yeah. The shrink wanted to know about the big cage, and Randy said, that's just it, Doc. It's hell in a cell.
Yeah, and somehow this went on to a...
Someone had scripted this line,
Yes.
is the point I'm trying to make.
Well, yeah, it got worse.
Yes.
He was trying to explain how when he was in a ring, he had control. But if there was a cage around the ring, then he had no control. And this makes no sense to me. You're typing something.
I am. Just go on.
Well...
Every now and then I know something wrong in the report, and I just have to fix it here on the air.
Well, sure. You're a multitasker.
Sure.
You're a very talented man. You can handle two things at once.
Go on. Hurry up.
Wow. You yell at me and type.
Well, I'm trying to type,
So,
and
yes,
you're making me do 3 things at once. Type, do the show, and listen to you, which is impossible. Go on.
So, yeah, they have this wacky doctor guy there. They brought the actor to play him. And later in the show, Teddy Long was yelling at him.
Are we getting ahead of ourselves here, young man?
Well, we are, because I don't remember what came next.
All right.
And you have the notes.
Let me cut you off here. I'm getting back to bad lines. He was explaining the Hell in the Cell, and the doctor said that, in fact, you have 2 roads stretching ahead of you, Randy. Quote, with no less gravity than life and death.
Oh, yes. That word came up again.
So, yeah, and actually, you noticed something earlier in the show when they did the video package. They did the song The End Is Near, which was first used in the Shawn Michaels Triple H build for the street fight at SummerSlam when Shawn Michaels made his return. Yes, indeed, I remember this.
Wow.
And you said, is that Jim Morrison singing? And in fact, it's not. It's a man pretending to be Jim Morrison, but in fact, Jim Morrison is dead.
Wow, yes.
I just thought I would add that to this whole deal right here. So anyway, they went back, and Melina met with Big Dave and said she didn't normally do this. She didn't mention slutty behavior, but that's exactly what it was.
She said this.
Tonight
she
was a
caressing his chest.
Special occasion. It was Eminem and Batista Mysterio for the tag titles, and she said Eminem really wanted time to prepare for the Mexicools on Sunday. God knows why. And therefore, she began having sex with him. No deal was made, mind you, and that was brought up later when the sex was finished, and she said, so, do we have a deal? And he said, no, we don't have a deal. And I feel much better. I'm going to kill these guys.
He said, thank you for the warm-up. I feel great. I'm going to kill them.
And it was great.
And it was so fantastic.
Big Dave is an awesome man. So, anyway, she sold herself. I think she didn't even sell. She
gave.
Well, she gave herself to Big Dave. She donated her flower to Big Dave for nothing. And this made her very angry later in the evening. But we'll get to that.
Imagine that.
Kid Cash's new hairdo faced Super Crazy. And they had a very strange match that just did not work. And Kid Cash won with a brainbuster, and I have nothing more to say.
Okay.
I figured maybe you would have something to say.
They were on totally different pages. Kid Cash fell down at least once and was taking these really horrible bumps for drop kicks, and I don't know what was going on, and it's probably best for everyone involved that this match is over.
Fine, let's move on. Randy came out of the office saying he'd made a decision, but we did not find out what that was. Eminem faced Big Show and Rey Mysterio for the tag titles.
Who and Rey Mysterio?
Did I say Eddie Guerrero?
You said Big Show.
Oh. Sorry, Big Dave. I had Big written down here.
Oh, I see.
And I often have made the mistake Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, so I
Yes,
would not
you
have
have.
been surprised if I would have done that here.
For
But in
years
fact,
now.
Eddie Guerrero was involved in this match heavily. There were loud Eddie chants. There were prayers to Eddie. Eddie actually saved the day, according to Michael Cole, during one spot. In fact,
Wow, I'm glad I wasn't paying attention to that.
oh yes, the exact words. I believe it was a Frankensteiner that Ray countered into a power bomb, and Taz said he got help from a higher power. Eddie Guerrero, in fact, is now doing match layouts from Beyond the Grave. If you have not been paying attention to SmackDown. Oh yes.
Wow, I'm like I say, I was glad I was not paying attention then.
Yes. Well, take over the match then, Vince. What did you pay attention to here?
Well, I was paying attention to the match itself, which is awfully good. And knowing the spoilers, all anyone was talking about was how they couldn't believe that they took the belts off Eminem and buried the tag match at the pay-per-view, which is all kind of true. But lost in the shuffle there was that Eminem wasn't necessarily buried here. They had a good match.
They were just beaten.
They were beaten clean for the titles. That's not good. But hey, it's a clean finish. We always ask for more clean finishes. So
Yeah.
they had a good match. They sold they did wacky stuff and sold forever, and finally got the heat on. Well, Ray, as you may have guessed, and Ray eventually got the hot tag, and the finish came when Mercury was set up for the 619, and Melina tried to save him from the floor grabbing his head. So Rey Mysterio hit the 619.
Which, by the way, think about that for a moment. What the hell was she going to do grabbing his head from the floor to save him from the 619?
Well, in theory, I can see how you
Pull him completely from the ring?
Well, she was trying to take the blow herself so he wouldn't get hit. The flaw here in the wacky wrestling logic is that Ray just kicked her head into his and didn't work.
Wait a second. Even in real logic, that wouldn't work. Have you ever seen those things where there's the things with the balls on it?
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
hit the ball and it bonks two
Okay,
balls or
I
whatever?
understand physics.
And that hurt my... Go ahead.
Balls?
No, you asshole. Go on.
If Sonny O'Mara wanted to punch you in the head, would you rather have my head between his fist and your head, or just have him punch you in the head?
I'd rather get the fuck out of the way, which... Okay.
Okay, it didn't work anyway.
Vince, if Sonny were going to punch me in the face...
Yeah.
That's like my option is to put your head in front of my head so that
let's not say head, because that won't work.
Okay, let me ask you this question. If you were Melina and your man was hanging outside the ring like that, what would you do? You'd grab his head and you'd shove him out of the way so that, in fact, he would not be hit at all. Grabbing his head and putting your forehead against his...
Okay, that does not work.
Thank you. Let's move on.
All right. But the point of this was that Melina got kicked in the back of the head. And as Taz pointed out, Melina just took one to the back of the head. And then Michael Cole said...
Second time tonight.
Yes.
It was his greatest line ever.
It was perfect.
And he said it with a straight face. He did not start laughing. He continued calling the match afterwards, and it was fine.
And
fine
nothing more need be said. And they pinned poor Bloody Mercury, who got a bloody nose somewhere in there.
It was off a Ray. It was actually
the moonsault.
I called it a perfect catch because Ray did this moonsault off the top rope, and no part of his body hit the ground. He was caught perfectly, except it sort of doesn't count as being caught perfectly because he actually seemed to break Mercury's nose on the landing. So something was not perfect about it.
So it
but
sucks to be Joey.
thumbs up match.
Yeah, it was fun.
The only one on the show.
Yes.
Lots of Hell in the Cell clips, that sort of thing. Then Lashley killed Paul Burchill, which I don't really want to talk anything about because it saddens me greatly that Burchill and Regal are destroyed every single week, but I can do nothing about it.
Okay.
The ball's in your court.
You said you don't want to talk about it.
Fine.
You want me to
I
talk
said
about
I don't want to talk about it. Do you have anything to add?
You want a candy bar?
No, but go on.
Let's move on.
When I say I'm not referring to we.
When I say I don't want to talk about something, I mean I don't want to hear you talk about it either.
Okay, well, let's
That's what I
get it
thought.
straight that when I say I really don't want to talk about that match, that means the ball's in your court.
Okay,
and you are
understood.
welcome to say whatever
Let
you
me
want
write that
about
one
it.
down.
No,
So
just remember it.
in the future. Yeah, because I'm so good at remembering things.
You're far better than I am.
Well, that's true.
Crystal interviewed Matt Hardy about the match with Booker T later, and I have nothing I want to add to that.
You know, I am so in love with Crystal, and she is a mannequin.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it's true. She appeared on my screen, and I began to levitate on the couch, and then she began to speak, and I sank back down to earth.
And think of the gravity that was defied
Yes.
there.
Yeah, so I defied the law of gravity there. But yeah.
And the highlight of her career was last week when she tried to interview somebody and she got kicked out and didn't even ask for a microphone.
Just left her microphone with Charmel and Booker.
Yeah, that's good. So
she was trying to interview Matt Hardy, and he was doing a really awful interview, and thank God.
I guess that means, Vinny, if you ever see her doing a photo shoot and she takes all her clothes off and you say, hey, come here, she won't think of taking her clothes back.
I'll keep that in mind.
Great, go on.
Thank God this interview was interrupted by JBL, who reminded everyone that despite his copious injury history, he was going to continue to wrestle, and then Matt was whining about being interrupted, and they had a brawl, and I guess they're having a match on Sunday now.
Yeah, Matt faced Booker T, and JBL was doing commentary, which played into the finish of the match when he actually attacked Matt Hardy and gave him the clothesline from hell on the floor, threw him in the ring, and Booker got the pin, so that's the big setup for the match on Sunday.
And I legitimately remember nothing about this match except how great JBL was.
Yeah,
JBL was awesome.
I do remember that Charmel had a broom, which you had to explain to me, and that's it. The rest was JBL making funny jokes. So
and
thumbs
hey,
up
I have
to
no
JBL
problem
again.
with that, by the way.
Yeah. So Bob wanted to know if Randy was absolutely certain about what he was going to do, and he said yes. And then he went out, and I noticed that there were 15 minutes left on the show. And in fact, this segment went 15 minutes.
None of them were any good.
5 minutes was Randy crying about how he was going to make a decision and how great he was. Then there was 5 minutes of him saying he retired. Then there was 5 minutes of Undertaker coming out for his entrance. And I realized that I'm already overshooting the 15 minutes here. I don't give a shit. This is what it felt like. Then there was 5 minutes of Undertaker. I guess Teddy Long actually came out and told Orton he could not retire. This is all screwed up. It doesn't matter. It's all bullshit.
It really doesn't matter.
And to make a long story short, and it was very long indeed, 25 minutes Randy Orton beat on The Undertaker. So the show is now over 3 hours long, based on my faulty math. And it was bad. It was horrible. It sucked. It bored the shit out of me. And unfortunately, it sold buys.
Yeah, bad news. And you pretty much covered that. Somewhere in there, you skipped the part where Teddy and the psychologist got in a fight, and the psychologist called
You've
Helen.
been wanting to talk about this all night, haven't you?
Yes, because
Well, go to town. The ball's in your court,
The
Vince.
psychologist was calling the product barbaric and pointing out how guys shouldn't be involved in these kind of matches, and if he cared about their safety at all, he wouldn't have booked it. And then he stomped off and left. And all I could think was, Vince McMahon must have had a psychologist or a therapist at some point, and this is how he was venting his frustration about that experience.
That's what you got out of it, huh?
That's what I got out of it.
I was actually going to add, I'd totally forgotten about this till you mentioned it, but I got a very angry email from somebody who hated this show with a passion. Because really what we didn't mention about the Randy Orton thing was Randy Orton came out and said, I'm 25 years old. I want to leave when I'm on top. I do not want to be a cripple. I do not want to have major health problems.
I see where you're going with this now, too.
I don't. I just want to leave. And Teddy Long came out and said, hell no, motherfucker. You're under contract. You are going to fight. You are going to die. And we don't care what you think. You will suffer.
Yeah, that thought occurred to me as well. It's like, through the show, it's like, why am I supposed to boo Randy Orton?
Yeah, this week it was Vince McMahon playing, or was Teddy Long playing the role of Vince McMahon, angry at people bitching about wanting to, I guess, take
Be
time
healthy.
off.
Yes.
Or something like that. So, yeah, this person was very, very upset. And I can see his point, sort of, but I think in the grand scheme of the last 6 weeks, this would be lower on the priority list to me.
Offensive things that Vince McMahon has done?
Yeah. But it is a very good point. That's exactly what was said here, which was... and actually, this was the second thing on the show. The first was, Melina was, in some sense, violated, but she sort of gave herself willingly, I suppose you could say. I don't think you could describe it in WWE land as rape, although you could describe nothing in WWE land as rape. But at the end of the night, she had given her flower to Big Dave Batista, and she had lost her tag team titles and was weeping on the floor, and she was supposed to be the heel.
Yes.
And at the end of the show, Randy Orton wanted to save his own life. He wanted to not be a cripple. He wanted to continue a long career doing whatever, I don't know, working at 7-Eleven.
Moving on with his life.
Moving on with his life. And he was told, no, you must stay here until we take you out back and shoot you. And in fact, he was supposed to be the heel.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of a lot of wackiness on this show.
Even last week, Randy wanted to fight, and Undertaker wanted to do parlor tricks, and Randy was the heel.
Yeah.
So strange, stupid, bad, irritating, grating feud.
Bad show.
Bad show.
Boring show, really. It wasn't so much bad, just boring. I've seen some bad shows. This wasn't bad. It just, there was nothing to it.
No, and it did have the one good match, so I can't really say it was even on the list of terribly bad shows.
Vinny, your initial thoughts on the SmackDown show?
As I said, it was a darn night of wrestling action.
the best SmackDown, maybe the first good SmackDown this year, it seems.
That's a horrible way to end the year for them, when I really think about it. It opened up with the greatest couple of 2005, which I don't think is a award in the Observer year-end balloting, but it should be, and that is the Tees, Booker and Sharmell, who are just so great. And they were arguing about Booker T's injury. Teddy Long was there. Chris Benoit was there. Booker was wearing the fattest suit in history.
I now fully endorse the dress code, because this suit was so great.
Yes, it was quite awesome. And Booker's argument was that he was hurt, and because he was ahead in the series when he got hurt, he should be the new champion. And this was a very poor argument, and Benoit called him on it, and Teddy Long called him on it. And to make a long story short, they finally agreed that Booker was going to choose a replacement for this evening, and if the replacement beat Chris Benoit, then Booker T would become the new champion. And if Chris Benoit won, Chris Benoit would be up one more in the series, and it would be 3-2. So it's quite a little opening segment. It was good. It was fine.
It was just about the most old school thing you'll ever see from this company. The heel had the injury. He was trying to claim that he should win the series because he was hurt, and the babyface didn't even want to win by forfeit. He wanted to win in the ring, and
he was strong.
He was strong, and everything in the end made sense in a weird pro wrestling kind of way.
It was very good. Then we had JBL and Matt Hardy in a squash rematch from the pay-per-view, and it was, I guess, the defining moment of the match was JBL dancing.
Which, unfortunately, was immediately when he stepped out of the limo.
Yeah. Then they had a match, and it was exactly what you'd think. JBL beat him forever, and Matt Hardy did a big leg drop off the middle rope, and it was not the finish. He went for the twist of fate and got cut off, and the Boogeyman came out. And the Boogeyman was stalking JBL.
Slowly.
He was shimmying and shaking, and JBL was so terrified that despite being distracted by the Boogeyman, he still managed to hit a top rope fallaway slam and the Lariat of Death on Matt Hardy before running for his life.
Yes.
So
it sucks to be Matt Hardy.
He has been buried.
Oh, God.
Probably 12 feet under. He has been buried twice as deep as the normal man gets buried. So
this reminded me, and it's not the last time I'd say this, but this reminded me of All American Wrestling on the USA Network in the late 80s. Just a squash, just a complete squash. It was Barry Horowitz and Bam Bam Bigelow.
You know what I thought watching this was, we've eaten at a restaurant. I'm going to tell a Brent Kremen story right here.
That's never a bad time for a Brent story.
Somehow this segues into what I'm talking about here. Many years ago, we went to a wrestling show, and Brent Kremen was there. I don't think you were here, Vince. This was before your time, believe it or not. I think I've known Brent far longer than you.
You have.
And we went to this show, and we went to Denny's afterwards, and a bunch of the wrestlers were there, and it was me and Brent, and I think Craig might have been there, and his wife. Anyway, we all ate dinner, and it was Denny's. That was the first mistake we made, was going to Denny's. Second mistake was going there at 12 o'clock in the morning, 12 a.m., midnight. And we're eating, and we're waiting around. Actually, we weren't eating. We ordered and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited. And finally, mercifully, our food came, and we needed some ketchup or silverware or whatever, and the waitress had just vanished. And to make a very long story short, we didn't get out of there till about 2:45 in the morning. About 2 hours and 45 minutes at Denny's to finally get the hell out of that place. And we were all so outraged. I didn't even want to pay for my meal, but I actually did pay. And everyone just left. No tip, nothing whatsoever. And Brent was sitting there because we were arguing about not leaving a tip. And Brent was trying to explain that it's worse to give $1 than to give nothing at all. And I said, Brent, please explain that to me. And he said, well, if you leave just $1, that's more insulting than leaving nothing. And I said, that's no explanation. Explain to me why it's worse. He couldn't do it. So anyway, I said, don't leave any money on this table. We're leaving. I left. Everybody left. And Brent said, hold on. I'll be out in a minute. And I thought, oh, Jesus. So we left, and Brent was in for about, 5 minutes. We're all freezing our asses off outside. Brent finally walks out, and I said, well, what did you do in there? And he goes, well, I found our waitress, and I gave her a piece of my mind. I said, oh, that's good. And he goes, and $30.
Not one. 30.
$30. And I said,
as much as the meal itself, probably.
Why the fuck did you give her
In the following 8 years, have you gotten a satisfactory answer?
No. Well, yeah, his explanation was, I left a note for her with it. He said, I felt bad for her. And I guess he figured that after he gave her the piece of his mind, that was sufficient, and he should not further insult her by not giving her a tip. And he left some sort of note like, perhaps this will teach you to treat people better next time or something like that, along with the $30. We'll ask him the next time he's here if he has a logical explanation for this many, many years later.
Wow.
But the point of this
What the
whole...
hell does that have to do with Matt Hardy and JBL?
The point of this whole story...
Are you glad I remembered the match?
No, I remembered this.
I remembered.
No, I remembered what I was... do you even... Okay, so what was I going to talk about here?
No, I just remembered what the match was.
Okay, well, I know the whole point. I launched into the story, so shut the fuck up for a second, Vince.
Will do.
I'm not going to silence you yet, but the point of all of this was the Matt Hardy JBL match after JBL ran for his life, and the Boogeyman was in the ring dancing and shimmying with his stick and his clock, and his music was playing.
And the worms.
They didn't just end it like they normally do with these sports entertainment finishes. The match just wasn't immediately thrown out. Instead, they gave JBL a standing 10 count so Matt Hardy could win.
Oh, yes.
That right there is giving Matt Hardy $1 instead of giving him nothing at all.
Yes.
This, I could almost agree with Brent in this case. They just wanted to give an extra special fuck you to Matt Hardy by letting him win. Via countout.
Now he can't complain, you see.
We're going to let you win.
He went over. He can't complain.
And this was how it was done. So, yes, that whole story, admitted, it all tied together.
It does.
Thank you very much.
And it was, and you may be right.
So anyway, don't let me forget to ask Brent next time about the Denny's incident and why he did what he did. So, and by the way, that's the most horrific idea for a feud that I've ever heard of. JBL and the Boogeyman. The stiffest guy on the SmackDown roster versus the most fragile man on the SmackDown roster. Doom is coming. Actually, there's only one thing that could potentially be worse, and that is Mark Henry versus Big Dave. But we'll get to that a little bit later on.
Whatever brought that to mind?
Well, the main event of the show, you see, and them setting it up for probably the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
So, next we had Orlando Jordan meeting with Booker and offering to, I guess, take his spot this evening, and he got served.
Oh, he did.
By Sharmell Sullivan, and it was awesome.
Sharmell and Booker T pointed out that every time he's faced Benoit, he's tapped out, almost always in less than a minute. Booker T's best line was, "You tapping out right now."
And Sharmell told him to tap his ass out of here.
Oh, God, they're awesome.
It was...
And Orlando mumbled and left.
I don't ever want to see them be baby faces at this rate, but they already are.
Yes.
And I don't know how long it's going to last before the fans turn them baby face.
Remember when they were dancing to Teddy Long's music?
They should have just turned right there. It was... They're so great that they need their own show.
They do.
I am all in favor of Tuesday night tease.
I have no problem with that.
I just made that up on the spot. I hadn't written that down.
Alliteration, brother.
Yeah, that's right. So Mexico's faced the Dicks, and the Dick jokes are running wild, and they're already old.
Never, not funny.
No, but they are. I will give them this. They will always be at least mildly funny because the Dick jokes are tied in with Michael Cole's homosexuality and storyline, and that always adds an extra smirk to every joke.
All right.
So anyway, the Mexicools won when the Dicks lost.
If none of you've noticed, Super Crazy is phenomenal.
He's very good, yes.
He's really damn good, and he can make anything better. And that's really all I have to say about the match.
It was good. It was
good.
I think it was heavily edited because the taping report said it was real good, and it only lasted about 3 minutes. So I don't know.
It's possible.
How the hell it can be that good in 3 minutes, but for a 3-minute match, it was good. Booker met with Orton, and Orton is fallen into a deep funk after losing to The Undertaker, similar to the funk that we all fell into watching that feud unfold. And Booker gave him a pep talk, the pep talk of the year, really, and Orton agreed to take a spot.
Yes.
You are such a fool.
Do you have the toy? Hey, you haven't practiced, haven't you?
No.
Oh.
I'm just... my natural talent starting to come out.
You're ad-libbing.
Melina and her attorney came down to the ring for the announcement that she had to make, and this was an Ohio Valley segment in that it went too long. And it went actually longer than everything in Ohio Valley tonight put together.
It lasts longer than most OVW episodes.
All of Paul Heyman's Ohio Valleys put together, this segment was longer than them.
Mm-hmm.
She came out, and I'm just going to cut to the chase. She's suing Batista for sexual harassment. I got nothing more to say.
80% of this little deal was them zoomed in on Melina's face, and it occurred to me how really, really bad her lower teeth are. She needs braces immediately, and that's the wrong thing to do for the sex object.
You know, I'm sure everybody knows this just from listening to you, Vince, but you are a vain man, and you're always checking out other people physicly.
For flaws.
Yes.
I'm trying to find flaws.
You are constantly looking for flaws.
Yes.
I've mentioned this to you before. I don't think we've ever mentioned it on the air before, but you notice these things that in 100 years I would have never noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I was not looking at Melina's teeth. I was not looking at her breasts either.
Well, you couldn't. They weren't on screen. It was her face. I mean, her teeth were 8 inches long.
To be honest, I was looking at the clicker here.
Okay.
Because I'm shocked that I did not push that fast forward button because I was tempted the entire time.
And in hindsight, disappointed.
But many times you've made comments like, look at his hair.
Look at his hair.
Look at her teeth.
Look at her teeth.
Just things that, what are you looking at?
Well, there was nothing else on the screen except her eyes and her mouth.
So you couldn't just stare into her eyes, her lovely eyes?
If I was a good-hearted man, I would have. But I can't help it.
What's going to happen when you fall apart?
You can't fall apart from zero.
No. Just wait. Stuff starts to sag. You're 30, Vince.
Dude, have you paid attention to my body lately?
Gray hair, more sagging,
I actually
hair
think-
falls out,
I
drooping
think-
face.
I think I can see a difference in my hairline since my birthday 2 months ago.
Well,
I think I'm aging years every day.
so what's going to happen when this all catches up to you? What's going to happen when you wake up one day and you're 400 pounds, wrinkles everywhere, bald, and what's left is gray?
I'll pull a Tim White.
Wow. Good God almighty. Well, I don't know what to say to you, Vince.
So WWE, don't show close-ups of Melina anymore. Bad idea. Show her ass instead.
Jesus. Wow. So anyway, I got nothing more to add to anything that we've just talked about. I don't know what to say, Vince. Let's move on. Booker and Sharmell came out to do commentary, and
Thank God for them.
once again they saved the show. Booker's commentary is so awesome.
Booker was doing play-by-play.
He needs to do commentary on every show forever.
Every match, every show, he is awesome.
Sharmell needs to be out there. More burial of Michael Cole. So
I can
can't-
live with Taz being out there. Michael Cole was death in this match.
I want Michael Cole there, but I don't want him to talk. I just
Okay.
want him there to get bitched at and made fun of.
Fair enough.
And Taz and Booker T can do all the talking, and Sharmell can bury Cole as well.
Oh, yes.
It can be a 3-on-1 affair. So Booker T and Randy Orton had a match, and they had a very, very great match, and it was just good. I don't know what more I can say about it.
It was Chris Benoit having a match, 12 minutes or so, and it's impossible for Chris Benoit to have a bad match under those circumstances with any human being in the world.
It is impossible. And, in fact, Randy Orton, when this was over, looked like the Randy Orton of old.
Yes.
I mean in-ring, not his physique, which is
Not the Randy Orton of old.
withered. But, and it's funny, certain physiques are withering and certain physiques are not. I don't know why yet. I don't have a logical explanation. What I talked about in the news letter this week is the best explanation I can come up with, and that is that some men have just given up on the drug policy because there is no drug policy in sight, and some still have not given up yet. But so anyway, yep, they had a match, and it was awesome, and Chris Benoit is a 5-star man, 5-star athlete, so I have nothing more to say. He won via DQ, which it was really great, and Sharmell hit the ring and hit him with a crutch, and Booker was awesome going, a fan hit the ring. And then he noticed it was actually his own wife.
That's Sharmell.
And she hit him with the crutch, and I thought, why? He was going to lose either way. You know?
Right.
She didn't save him from losing. He's still lost. So why the fuck would they care if Orton tapped out? So anyway, Orton gave Benoit the RKO afterwards, and that was that. But it was very, very good. Then we had Funaki interviewing Kid Cash. It was a segment, as Vince said, straight out of All-American Wrestling. It was an interview straight out of All-American Wrestling. It was an angle out of All-American Wrestling. It had the same amount of heat as anything you've ever seen in All-American Wrestling. It was Kid Cash making fun of the fans, making horribly scripted jokes, and then laying out Funaki with a brainbuster on the stage, and that was that.
They had the ramp out there straight out of Mean Gene's heyday. In fact, they should have bring in Mean Gene for this.
Or Vince.
Yeah, because putting Kid Cash next to Vince McMahon will... It's a fine idea.
Vince always did those interviews on All American Wrestling. He didn't give a shit. He was just the wacky announcer, you know?
If they put Vince back in the tux, I will endorse that idea. With the red bow tie.
That was good times back then. Then we had a Fit Finlay promo, and it was great. I have nothing more to say except I am exceptionally excited for his return.
I don't know what spawned it, and I don't care. I'm just happy.
Anyone who thinks Fit Finlay isn't going to help turn the show around, you're wrong. That's really all I've got to say. You shall learn. So, anyway, then we had Sylvain Grenier cutting a promo, which led to a match with the ever-growing Blaster Lashley. His shrinkage has reversed. I don't know how. Perhaps a lot of turkey over the Christmas break. They had a short match, and Sylvain walked out, so this feud must continue.
Yep. And there's nothing else to say about it.
Vince, that's been it's a constant tonight. There's nothing. Make something up.
It was Bobby Lashley and Sylvain Grenier wrestling for a minute and not screwing anything up horribly. It's the best you could hope for.
Can't you tell us what the finish was or something? Throw something.
You just did.
There. No, I didn't.
Sylvain held his face and walked out.
Why?
Because he got punched.
Why? Why do you care? Everyone gets punched.
Because he's a model.
Thank you, Vince. Thanks for filling that
He cut a
empty
promo
space
about being
in.
the most handsome man in SmackDown, and then he got punched in the face, so had to leave to protect his face.
Big Dave and Ray Jr. versus Eminem for the tag titles.
Yay!
Melina was out there looking very distressed. I don't know why she came out. It made no sense. I guess it sort of did at the end, but they had a hell of a match. Another very good match. Hell of a year for SmackDown here, I should note once again. And it finished with Big Dave making a big comeback on his own, and out came Mark Henry. And Mark Henry beat up Big Dave. Big Dave sold it forever and was pinned by Joey Mercury. So yes, it appears it's going to be Mark Henry versus Big Dave at the Royal Rumble. I don't have that confirmed yet. We'll know tomorrow, but
You'd have to assume.
You would have to assume.
So whatever horrible drink they had that spawned this idea, I guess when they saw how fat Vader was, they went with Plan B, and this was it.
Well, I will say this. When this was over, I was down on WWE for this because I realized that the reason it was done because Mark Henry has been with the company for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I guess Vince figured he's got to make a little bit of money off of him at the end, so he's going to give him a Royal Rumble main event against Dave Bautista, try and make up a little of the 10 years worth of God knows how much he spent on this guy. Actually, it was only $1 million, something over 10 years or something crazy, but